Ford, he's out there. He's got it. He's gone. Touchdown, PLU. That one will go for 73 yards.
It's time once again for Pacific Lutheran football on KLAY Radio, Lakewood, Tacoma.
Takes the snap, placed down. Kick is on the way. The kick is long enough. The kick is... Come on! He hit it! He got it from 48 yards! Richard Isaac, a 48-yard field goal, and the Luther won the ball game.
The following game is broadcast with the authority of Pacific Lutheran University and is a production of Pioneer Sports. We're glad you've joined us. And now, here's our veteran broadcast team, Steve Thomas and Carl Hosek.
This is John with Radio KLAY. We have seemed to have lost the feed. We will join Steve Thomas in a moment as soon as he calls back. Please stay listening to KLAY 1180 AM.
You need a new heart, Mr. Latham.
Hey, transplant doctor.
Don't worry. We're combing the country. There's a very good chance we'll find you one.
Fine. As long as it's not from a Jew or a black or anyone who's Polish or Puerto Rican or Irish or Arab or Japanese or Italian or a gay guy, a Mexican, a woman, or anybody left-handed.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Why, doctor?
And good morning, everyone. Steve Thomas with you, along with Carl Hosek, as we welcome you to PLU football for 2011. Our broadcast brought to you today by Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. By B&I Coin Shop, serving Everett to Centralia to Spokane. By Multicare Sports Medicine, Multicare, better connected. By the Rams, serving Lutz fans for 40 years. By Kern's Complete Automotive Care, automotive service with excellence and integrity. By BMW Northwest, experience the best at BMW Northwest. And our pregame show presented today by Lakewood Ford, award-winning sales and service. The Lutz and Hamline today here at Sparks Stadium in Puyallup, as PLU is at home today to open the 2011 campaign. Only the second meeting between these two clubs. PLU won the first one last year, 27-20, after being down in the first half of that contest, 20-14. It'll be an interesting matchup today. The Lutz, of course, lean toward the pass. Hamline, their former coach, Jim Good, who was a former assistant and player at Linfield, is out after compiling a 1-9 season last year, including that loss to PLU. He was 10-30 over 4 seasons. He's been replaced by John Pate, an associate head coach at Georgia Southern University, during which his years there saw his team win 5 NCAA Division II titles, and he was an associate head coach at that time. He moves over here as a head coach for the first time in his long career. And, Carl, it will be interesting to see this matchup today. The Lutz with a lot of experience, a lot of youngsters playing today. And obviously Hamline, it's kind of a wild card with a new attack, a new head coach. You don't know what you're going to get from them.
Well, right, Steve. I think it's going to be a really exciting game today. And actually, as we were listening a little bit before on the pregame kind of highlights there, it was fun hearing even some of those things last year. The game with Hamline was a real thriller, and it came down to the defense having a 4th down stand at the very end. And, of course, then you had your call at the UPS game with that long field goal, and it was a great season for the Lutz going 8-1, but they lost so many guys on offense. And so essentially all the skill guys are going to have to be replaced this year, and it will be interesting to see. You mentioned, generally speaking, PLU has kind of been a pass-throwing offense, but with a really big offensive line and some experience there, it may be that they try to run the ball a little bit more. And you mentioned Hamline. They're probably going to be running sort of that Georgia Southern flex bone offense, a triple option. And I was talking to Gavin Stanley before the game, and he doesn't have any idea what their defense will look like. But on their website, their defensive coordinator is an old Willamette guy that had been a coordinator for Willamette, and they have been a team that had sometimes shown a lot of pressure. And so we'll see, but it's a great day to play football, and really I think it's probably got the best weather in the whole country right now.
Well, it's going to be awfully warm by the end of the day, no question about that. It'll be up around 90, and we're going to talk with head coach Scott Westring about the heat and about Hamline coming up next. We'll be right back with head coach Scott Westring as we continue with our PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
Are you a coin collector? Then stop by B&I Coin Shop. They buy and sell coins, silver, jewelry, currency, diamonds, sterling flatware, and more. Stop by B&I Coin Shop at 80th and South Tacoma Way or call 253-584-5875.
Sports fans, tonight's Northwest Conference game is being sponsored in part by your friends and neighbors at EJ Poultry. They provide your local grocer with the finest beef, pork, and poultry products available. Retailers trust their quality and love their service.
At EJ Poultry, we know there's a real advantage in buying fresh farm products. It's a difference you'll taste in our beef, pork, and poultry. EJ Poultry. When you buy locally, buy farm fresh.
I spent months looking for the right apartment. Then someone told me about Bernmar Apartments. They're just 3 blocks from campus, and they feature affordable, spacious rooms. See their ad on Craigslist, or call Lou at 253-536-3676.
So, you finally moved into your dream home. Just one problem. Your view is right into your neighbor's living room, and Rover down the street has his own decorating ideas for your lawn. Sounds like you need a fence. Mark's Custom Fences has over 20 years experience specializing in all types of fencing. Plus, all fences come with a 3-year warranty. See Mark's work online at markscustomfences.com or call for a free estimate at 253-896-4499. Mark's Custom Fences. Highest quality, lowest prices.
Part of today's exciting Lutz action is brought to you by the good service people at S&S Tire Service. They know it takes teamwork, extra effort, and professionalism to win at any sport. At S&S Tire Service, they take that same approach in providing the area with a quality selection of brand-name tires. You'll find their commitment to your complete satisfaction makes them the right choice for all your car and truck tire needs. With locations in Puyallup and Tacoma, stop by S&S Tire Service at 13201 Pacific Avenue or call 253-537-4220. S&S, where service makes the difference.
Welcome back to Clark Stadium, everyone, for the home opener today as the Lutz get set to take on Hamline. Our preseason and pregame coaches interview with Scott Westering, brought to you by Three Chicks Catering and Events. Find them online at threechickscatering.com. Well, Scott, it's a new season, and we're going to see, obviously, a lot of new faces today. You had a huge senior class that graduated last year, and I guess that's kind of the focus of this team right now, just having so many young guys. Obviously a lot of talent with that young freshman group, but you've also got some seniors who've been around the program who haven't maybe seen a lot of action in the past, but are going to be starters today.
You kind of hit it on the head, Steve. It's going to be a mix of all of that, and it's been exciting through the fall to see this all play out in what we would have called or do call cooperative competition, because it's about bellies into the philosophy of what we're about here. This idea, we call it the double win, of bringing out the best in yourself and the others around you. And so it's been a real great fall that way for our seniors that have been around, that have now gotten an opportunity to step in and play, and some of these talented young kids to not kind of become selfish about it and kind of hooray for me and nuts to you kind of deal. But they've really, really pushed each other. They've really encouraged each other. They've really worked hard in spending time off the field with each other to make everybody better. And then truly believe and trust in what the decisions the coaches make and where we are that's going to put us in the best position to be successful. And so it's going to be fun to see a lot of those guys play today.
And there will be a lot of new faces, particularly so on offense, as you work with your offensive guys, new quarterback. You've got new wide receivers, a new running back or two. So there's a lot to work with and to work toward this year.
You once again hit it on the head, Steve. We lost, depending on the formation we were in from last year's team, 8 or 9 starters. And so to try to look at all those moving parts, as we say, and I kind of looked at Craig the other day on defense and said, Craig, you don't have near as many moving parts as we got on offense. I said, so I hope you're ready to keep your fingers in the dike while we get this thing squared away on offense. And I think we've settled in a few areas, which we've been very excited about. Zach Halverson, the kid that's backed up at quarterback for us the last 3 years, has just done a marvelous job. Started this summer with working out with the guys this summer and getting workouts together, and it's just carried it into the fall. He's had a great preseason camp. So it's just totally answered that question for us where we are at quarterback. And Brandon James has had a great preseason camp at running back. I think people are going to be really excited to watch him play today. Alex Simmons had such a tremendous year last year and a unique runner that he was. And I think Brandon brings a lot of spark and a lot of excitement to that halfback position that's there. We have these 4 senior receivers that are going to line up today, and I know they've been working really hard. They've done a really, really good job for us, and so we're looking to see how we're going to kind of put that all into the offense and then mold that into this running game that we really, crazily enough, those PLU fans that have watched football the last few years around this place knew we threw it a heck of a lot more than we ran it, and I'll be darned if statistically at least we rushed the football more than we passed it last year. And so that's something that we still look at as no question an emphasis this year. We got a really excited offensive line. We lost 3 of our 5 linemen, but we got some young men that have really stepped in, a couple senior guys that are ready to play now, and then a couple of transfer kids. We've had to fight a little bit of injury in preseason camp there with a little ebb and flow of that. But as always with those offensive lines, they need to play together for a few weeks to really kind of start gelling. And we're still a little ways from that. But I think, again, they're excited to play today. And again, we're going to tie it all together and see where it goes.
You know, we've looked at the offensive line in the past for PLU. It's been a lot of guys who are 250 in that range, and we're going to see some much bigger folks up front for you offensively today.
We are, and that's kind of a unique thing, as you put it, for us. We jokingly talk about we don't have PLU-looking linemen anymore. But I think, as you mentioned it, Steve, with our blocking system, cross-blocking and trapping and those things, the premium on movement and foot speed and all those kinds of things are much more important to us than actual physical weight and those kinds of things. So to get a blend of some young guys that have a little of both is exciting and to see. And yeah, we're gonna have some guys that weigh a little bit out there, which is kind of exciting to see how it all fits together and then see where we go from there.
You had a huge improvement defensively, at least in terms of, you know, points given up and that type of thing last year, Scott. Just a real good job defensively, and you got a few more experienced moving pieces on the defensive side of the ball this year.
Along with that depth, Craig, I think, has probably the most depth he's had on defense for a long, long time. And with his system, this 34 zone blitz scheme system that he put in last year, we came out of a great spring. The veteran returning guys wasn't learning this past spring. It was just running the defense, where a year ago, the spring, they were just learning this system. And so you saw they were much more comfortable in the spring, and that's the way preseason camp's gone. That's the way our in-squad scrimmage went. They looked very, very excitable and physical and aggressive, and then the depth, I mean, literally at almost all positions is an exciting thing, because you just never know how this injury bug thing plays and all. So I think it'll play definitely in our favor today, where he'll be able to rotate a number of guys. As warm as it is here today, he'll be able to roll a lot of guys on the field and keep legs fresh. And with this big kind of veer option offense that these guys run, I think that's going to be a key for us to be able to do that. And so we're really excited about how that's all going to play. And the camaraderie on that defense and watching them play off each other, I think it's going to be a challenge with this crazy option stuff and all to defend this thing, assignment-oriented football. But we're really excited to see this defense play this year.
Depth will be a factor before this day is out. It's not often that you see any game that you play where it's going to be close to 90 degrees by the time things wrap up this afternoon.
Not on these parts, that's for sure. And it's kind of nice to know that, summer got here a couple weeks ago. So, but it's been wonderful in our preseason camp. We've had just such great weather to practice. And again, when we kind of practice out there later in the afternoon or early evening to see the sunset, see old Mount Rainier glowing. And we've given a few attaway cheers to the inanimate object of Mount Rainier and cheered it on as it turned pink and all that stuff. But, yeah, it's just great to have a day like today in this great field and place to play in Sparks and a great opponent in Hamline with this new coaching staff and all they're doing new there. It's going to be a great challenge for us today, and I think we're excited to go in the arena today.
In some ways, you're kind of flying in the dark because you don't know exactly what you're facing today, because Hamline does have a new coach in John Pate. They've got a new option attack, which is something that you don't often see. And since there is no game film on this team, you have to kind of go in there and make some adjustments as you go along.
We have a phrase around here that you got to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And if you learn to do that in life, that's going to carry you through a lot of situations. And I think in some ways the beginning of this game is going to be a little uncomfortable because, as you said, Steve, we do not know what they're going to exactly be doing on both sides of the ball. And obviously we kind of know personnel-wise of guys that played on that team last year that are going to be returning for Hamline and all. But it's going to be kind of a searching out kind of a process in this first quarter and all. And but I think that's one of the mental strengths that we've tried to build into our kids, whether it be on the field, whether it be when we travel, if travel plans don't go as to think, or all those kinds of things. That if we get these kids that being comfortable, kind of being uncomfortable, then we really can hang in there and be patient and knowing that we got to we got to weather some storms, and who knows how the game will go early here and how it'll play along. And I think one of the phrases we've had for a long time on this program is that the longer we play, the better we get. And for guys that really believe that in their heart, believe that in their coaching staff, that we're going to keep working in the pit, so to speak. This Indy 500 car, we got an offensive defense running the best we can. If it starts running a little rough, and they got to believe in us that we're going to keep finding a way and looking at ways to adjust what we're doing on offensive defense, continuing to put them in the best position possible to be successful. And wow, when you guys believe that, regardless of what that scoreboard says, it's a pretty powerful thing, which has been a part of our program for a long time.
We have a huge number of returning starters this year, Scott, but as I look back at last year, the one thing that sticks in my mind was how resilient the 2010 team was. I think with an even run record last year, you were behind, I believe, in 6 of those games, and it came back to win all of them, I believe. A team that's down, whether it be in the first quarter or the fourth quarter, that team showed a lot of strength and resiliency and that type of thing to hang in there, like you say, and really show that mental strength as well as being able to perform at the end games to come back.
That's what we talk about all the time with our kids. And it's been great for the guys that were there last year. As part of the summer letter I wrote to them, all the guys this summer, and reminded them of the guys that were part of that, or what we went through last year, and what that team did on and off the field, and the impact and the ripple effect it had into this year's group of it. And that's kind of a goal each year out of senior classes, is they want to make sure that they put back into the EVOL gas tank each year, and in essence, as they put it, maybe try to leave the program in some way better than it was when they first came, 4 years earlier. And so to look at that and to know and understand that, wow, we're further down the road now, and to be able to look back and, whatever you want to say, learn the lessons and what it took to do what we did last year, what it took to be resilient, spending the time with each other and mentally and building that mental strength, because it's so much mental. I mean, my gosh, you see it classically displayed almost every football game. When the fourth quarter ends, you see one team standing there and they put their four fingers up in the air. You look on the other side of the field, that team's got 4 fingers in the air. And so each team's kind of claiming, we own the fourth quarter, and it's like, well, where do you go from that? And how does that play out? And yet now it becomes a challenge of will and how you hang in there and not letting, as we say, not letting fatigue make a coward out of you, and staying on edge and staying with your belief. And the phrase that's been around, I know it's been on a lot of UW T-shirts this year, expect to win. We talk about that with our kids all the time. Well, how do you do that? How do you expect to win? But if you don't prepare, if you don't put yourself in the best shape possible, that's all great thoughts. But wow, when it really comes down to do it, it's just wishful thinking versus it really being a thought in your brain and all that. There's no way we're not going to be successful. Somebody's going to find a way to do this. That's another phrase we use. Somebody's going to find a way to win or be successful, and we don't know who it's going to be. We don't know where it's going to come from or what play it's going to be on or whatever it is. And up until that final gun, Yogi Berra hit it in the head. It's never over till it's over, and that's how we always approach competitive situations.
And our pregame chat with Scott Westring, brought to you by Three Chicks Catering. They fed the entire PLU football team in their annual preseason barbecue. Three Chicks Catering. You can find them online at threechickscatering.com. And we'll continue with more from Sparks Stadium on this PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
What will you build? What will be your legacy? How will you make the world a better place? If you're searching for an answer to these questions, Habitat for Humanity can help. It's a curious thing about Habitat for Humanity. We build houses and something more, something extraordinary. A Habitat build site is where laying one foundation can transform a neighborhood, where painting a room colors an entirely new outlook on life, where installing a window offers a clearer vision of the future, where renovating a home can renew a community, where setting a level can balance a life. You see, Habitat for Humanity builds houses and so much more. So what will you build? Visit Habitat.org to learn more.
Around here, folks take pride in their outdoor landscape. That's why more homeowners are teaming up with Superior Rock Wall and Landscape. They specialize in rockeries, patios, waterfalls, lighting, lawn and sprinkler installation, and more. Superior Rock Wall and Landscape in your yellow pages.
Business meeting, holiday holiday party or other special occasion? Make fun of your parties by calling 3 Chicks Catering and Events. From black tie to casual box lunches and everything in between, we cater to your needs. Find out what people are saying and check out our menus at 3chickscatering.com. Or just ask the PLU football players and their families. We catered their annual barbecue last summer. 3 Chicks Catering and Events. A passion for food, a flair for fun.
For over 20 years, Network Engineering and Support Group has been pushing the standards of IT technology. With NESG's philosophy about system, network, and website design, you'll get technology solutions that are custom built to your needs. Find out more at nesghelp.com.
The pregame show brought to you today by Lakewood Ford, award-winning sales and service. A reminder of Modern Woodsman representatives in Puyallup serve members, their families, and residents in and around the Pacific Northwest Washington area. A unique combination of business and volunteerism, the organization offers financial products along with fraternal member benefits for families and their communities. Call Bill Pratt, managing partner at Modern Woodsman representatives in Puyallup at 253-770-6019 to learn more. Well, it's getting set for Hamline here. Of course, Hamline coming off that 1-9 season. And, Carl, as we look ahead to this game today, it should be an interesting matchup. We talked about it a little bit earlier, the fact that Hamline has a completely new coaching staff. They're a team that rushed for only 75 yards per game last year, and they've kind of turned it all over. In fact, their starting quarterback was Adam Meyer last year, who threw for 240 yards against the Lutes. He won't start today. They're giving way now to Connor Safrey, who is more of a running type of quarterback and a guy who's going to lead them in that option attack.
Right, I think that what PLU's tried to do to prepare is look at some of the tape from Georgia Southern, and even you go back into Navy has kind of used this flex bone stuff too, where there's going to be a triple option. You're going to have to defend the fullback, but then there's going to be a guy in motion on a lot of occasions, and from that you end up doing an option attack off the end. And if you have a quarterback that can run and be a threat, that's going to make that much more powerful. So probably that's what they end up doing there, is getting a guy that's going to probably be a running threat.
Lutz returning 9 starters this year. Hamline returns 13. The Lutz, as you might remember, in 2010, a team that finished ranked up in the top 20, ranked 17th in the country with an 8-1 record, but not chosen among the 32 teams in the Division III playoff field. There are some interesting matchups around the Northwest Conference today as well. Across town from us, over at Baker Stadium, the Loggers are playing host to Occidental this afternoon. Down in McMinnville, Oregon, Linfield taking on Cal Lutheran in a matchup of top 20 teams. Lewis and Clark at home in Portland today to take on Claremont Mud Scripps. Whitworth also at home after losing last week to Chapman. The Pirates are hosting Pomona Pitzer. Willamette, a loser last week, 8-6 to Wisconsin Stevens Point. They're playing at home today against another top 20 team, Hardin-Simmons, and Pacific is at home to meet Menlo. We're going to take a timeout, come back with more. We'll set the starting lineups and get this one kicked off here at Sparks Stadium as we continue with more on this PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
Enjoy the great outdoors this season with Dandy RV sales. Dandy features motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, and tent trailers, plus service and parts. View their lineup at 117th and Pacific Avenue next to PLU or at dandyrv.com.
Immediately following today's game on KLAY, Don and Kathy Live.
There's a company in town that's closing the door on its competition. It's All Service Garage Doors. Locally owned since 1982, All Service specializes in complete garage door repair and service. They can fix everything from broken springs to damaged panels. So whether you have a garage door that's damaged, stuck, slow to open, or if you're ready for a new one, give them a call. All Service Garage Doors, offering excellence in garage door repairs, service, and installation.
Thinking about having your home or office painted? Then call O.M. Michael Quality Painting. Michael takes special pride in serving Lutz fans. Whether it's residential or commercial, interior or exterior, you can rely on O.M. Michael Quality Painting, the finest finish in town.
The key to winning for the Lutz is teamwork. When it comes to personal injury representation, more people are teaming up with the law office of Terry E. Lumsden. Terry is a proud PLU alum. He's ready to take the confusion out of your personal injury case and explain your rights. Call today at 253-573-4424
or read their success stories at telumsden.com. That's the law office of Terry E. Lumsden, located on the corner of 6th and Union, your personal injury attorney.
Great teams win because of a well-thought-out game plan. When planning your next commercial remodeling project, your game plan starts with Parker Kimball Casework Incorporated. We provide quality custom cabinets of the finest workmanship. Whether it's a new office, tenant improvement project, or office remodel, give us a call. You'll find Parker Kimball Casework in your yellow pages. Remember, for your next commercial cabinet project, your game plan starts with Parker Kimball Casework.
Welcome back, everyone, to the pregame show as the Lutes get set for Hamline this afternoon. They mentioned the other games around the Northwest Conference. One kind of interesting note about Hamline under their new coach with Jim Good out there and John Payne as head coach was in Hamline. Actually, in preseason camp, they took themselves out of town. They went to a military camp, Carl, for a little while to train and practice under their new head coach. And he felt it was a way to kind of get everybody on the same page. And, it's an interesting approach. We'll see whether or not it's effective for them. But Hamline is a team that's struggled mightily back in the Minnesota Conference over the years. And they're trying to kind of change the whole attitude back there as well, get this team back to being really competitive in their conference. Very difficult when you got the likes of St. Thomas and St. John's and those teams back there.
Right, a very, very tough conference. And as you mentioned, I read a little bit about that. He took them to a place called Camp Ripley, I guess, for 5 days. And it was interesting because they were saying that they get them up at 6 a.m. every day, except on Friday they get a half hour, the chance to rest. So it's 6:30. And on Facebook, there's this Hamline little page, and they had just put up a couple of pictures of a few guys, like, kind of posed around a tank. And so, yeah, it's a different, probably a little different style than PLU's breakaway. But I guess they got it from Gary Barnett when he used to take guys, when he was at Northwestern for that kind of bonding type of thing.
Captains meeting out on the center of the field right now, and we'll get the decision here on which team, the Lutes offense or defense, will be out there. It is a task of sorts for Scott Westering this year with only 3 returning starters on offense. You're looking at a completely new set of wide receivers. I think they would like to maybe work some of the younger receivers into this offensive system, but they went through training camp, and some of the younger guys that might have had a chance to play, a very talented freshman group and the biggest freshman class ever in PLU football history, just not going to work out for them immediately because of the fact that some of those guys came up with injuries early on. So we're going to see a veteran group of receivers, but guys who really haven't played that much up to this point.
Right, guys that have been in the program a while, but as you mentioned, haven't caught a ton of balls. And it's kind of interesting, too, that, the perception might be, at least from just me watching, that the guys that they're going to be placing in there are probably what you would mostly consider more possession receiver type guys, not the real burners, where last year it was almost the opposite. I mean, you felt like Greg Ford, Kyle Whitford, Drew Griffin, or Isaac Moog. I mean, those are guys that could really stretch the field. So it's probably going to be quite different how Scott decides to do things. And as you mentioned, all the freshmen, too, they did the go drills before the game here, and they couldn't even fit everyone on one half of the field, which I don't know the last time that's happened.
Our officials today, the referee will be Wayne DeLosto, the umpire James Sillick, the head linesman Walter Keatley, the line judge Ronald Pauley, the side judge Scott Moore, field judge Michael Patton, and the back judge will be Jerry Rash. And the Lutes will drop back deep. We'll check their offensive starters in just a moment. For PLU, as far as the kick returners are concerned, Taylor Angevine will be back there for the Lutes, along with Zach Baldwin as the 2 returners. And the Lutes will be headed from right to left as we begin this first quarter and kick off the 2011 season. Alex Ferguson is the kicker, and he's actually a local product, but he's with Hamline, of course. Ferguson went to Kentridge High School in Kent. He's a junior, and we'll kick off for Hamline down to our left.
Facebook page, Steve. It was a little post that said, "Where else in America is your starting middle linebacker also your kicker and your punter?"
Exactly. Here's Ferguson end over end and short angling for the near sideline. It'll be picked up there by Angevine at the 20-25, and he's belted out of bounds hard at about the 28-yard line. So the Lutes start at their own 28 as they go to work offensively. And for PLU, Zach Halverson, the senior from Bellingham, only one pass last year, and that was incompleted as a backup for Jordan Rasmussen. 6'2", 225. Halverson will lead him. Brandon James is the leading running back returning, the junior from Peninsula High School in Gig Harbor. Averaged 5.5 yards per carry last year, 6'1" and 200 pounds. Halverson lines them up in a 3 wide receiver set. 2 wide receivers right and 1 to the left. Zach looks it over, long count at the line of scrimmage. Still waiting for the snap and takes, and we've got a whistle and some movement up front, I believe, before the snap of the football. This is going to be a procedure call on PLU. At center will be Court Knobloch, the junior from Life Christian in Sumner, 5'11", 278. The guards will be on the left side, Kyle Hoffman, a sophomore from Orcas Island, 6'5" and 320. And Nick Oglesby, the senior and co-captain from Snohomish, 6'2" and 250. And the tackles, Corey Gall, a senior from Walla Walla, 6'5" and 300. And Rob Marlowe, a senior from Liberty of Renton, 6'2" and 270. We'll check the wide receivers in a moment. Luke's first down at 15, now with the ball back at their own 23. Allison takes a snap, dumps it down the middle, got it to Angela, checked out, and breaking away up the near sideline as Tyler Christensen gets to the 50 to the 45. Tyler Christensen broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and Christensen brings it all the way to the Hamline 43-yard line, and that's going to be a pickup of about 30 yards on the play.
Basically a great job by everyone involved. Hamline blitzed on that play. They sent their 2 inside linebackers. The offensive line did an excellent job of picking it up. It was a great read, pitch and catch there to Christensen. He made a good catch, and then he broke away from a defender and was able to scoot down the sideline for a big gain.
Tyler had 4 catches last year. He's a junior from Vancouver, 5'10" and 200. The other wide receivers, Andrew Carlson, a junior from Newburgh, Oregon. Tyler Bowen, the senior from Rogers High School, and Alex McDermott, a senior from Livermore, California. Here's the turn and pitch. Luke's on the right-hand side. They get it to Brandon James, and he goes no place. They pitched it to James off the right-hand side. It looked like the Lutes might have wanted to go with a little reverse action there, as it looked like James was almost ready to give it back to one of the flankers coming around the other direction from right to left, but no chance as the penetration by Hamline gets to Brandon James. He's going to lose 6 yards on the play.
It did look like that, and he kind of made a good decision just to try to eat it and accept the loss and not make a turnover. And also some pressure put on by Hamline that caused some problems in the backfield.
Trip sent for the Lutes on the left. Now Christensen goes in motion left to right through the formation. Halverson rolls right, looks to the sideline, dumps it out there, complete down the sidelines and out of bounds. Inside the 35-yard line is Alex McDermott, a senior from Livermore, California, 6'1", 184, a business major. And he brings it down to, let's see where they say he stepped out of bounds, at the 40, actually. So it'll be a pickup on the play of about 9 yards.
Yeah, he did a good job of catching the ball on the sideline, and from our angle, we thought that he was able to kind of get away from a defender and work his way down the sideline, but it looks like he did step out of bounds, making it still 3rd and long here, about 3rd and 7.
Boots with running room to the left, and they trip set 3 wide receivers to the left-hand side. Now as Christensen goes out there, along with Tyler Bowen. Here's Halverson looking left, and he's got his man. It's caught out there by Carlson, who struggles for the first down and has it at the 31-yard line. Andrew Carlson on the reception, his first as a Lute, and that's going to be good for the first down as he picks up about 9 yards on the pass play. 1st and 10 PLU at the Hamline 31.
And 3 completions to 3 different receivers, really spreading it out very well there, and all 3 receivers a good job of having sure hands and maintaining the football after being hit.
Carlson and Bowen go to the right. On the near side goes McDermott. And the pistol or shotgun formation. Halverson stands outside of the 35. Stack waits for the snap, gives to James right up the middle, and he dances inside the 30 to the 29. A pickup of a couple of yards on the play. For Hamline, Michael Doherty, senior from Farmington, Minnesota, 235-pounder in on that tackle. One of their other leaders up front is Eric Clares, a junior from St. Paul, 6'1" and 270, and Corey Olson, a senior from Elk River, Minnesota, 6'5" and 250. Let's go to a single wide receiver to each side now. Is Baha Logatala in the backfield. Here's the option left. Big hole, James, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, knocked it around. Great block on the corners. Duluth really cleared it out down the near sideline. Brandon James to the Hamline 4-yard line.
You like to think that Hamline probably was doing a lot of practicing against the option throughout this preseason, assuming that that's what they're going to be doing on offense. But right there, the Lute ran it to perfection, and it was a really good job also by Halverson just to get the ball out to James and let him run with it. He didn't take too long. He didn't attack the end too much. He just gave him the ball. Great blocks downfield, too, by the Lute perimeter guys.
Lute's with split backs now. Up under center, Halverson gives off the left-hand side and bouncing down to about the 3-yard line for PLU on the carry is Daniel Esborg, a freshman running back from Hillsboro, Oregon. Esborg brought down basically at the line of scrimmage for no gain, so it'll be second down and goal from there. 10:55 left to go first quarter at Sparks Stadium. Steve Thomas and Carl Hosef with you. No score. Lute's on their opening possession. McDermott, the only wide receiver, split far to the right. Cody Porin joins Brandon James in the backfield now. Split backs behind Halverson. They send a man in motion. Play fake. Halverson looks right. Fires. Touchdown. Caught by the tight end for PLU for the score. Making the grab on the play is Tim Orr, a freshman from Wasilla, Alaska. And a transfer from Bemidji State University. Tim Orr, 6'4", 230, hauls it in for the score. That covers 4 yards.
And as I mentioned, 3 receivers with the first 3 receptions. There's a 4th. And we were at the scrimmage, and the offense didn't throw the ball nearly this well in the scrimmage against the defense, and they came out and just looked great here on this first drive.
Nick Kaler to try the point after. Bowen to hold it. Kick is on the way. It is up and no good. Wide to the right. So the PAT no good. We'll take a timeout with the Lutes on top now by a score of 6-0. We'll be right back with our PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
When it comes to complete insurance protection, Reggie Johnson Insurance has you covered. Give Reggie a call at 253-752-1777 or email him at reggie@reggiejohnson.us. Reggie Johnson Insurance. Relax. Reggie has your back. Paradise Bowl is proud to be your local family fun center. We feature 32 lanes and a full-service restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Join us Friday and Saturday nights at midnight for Rockin' Bowl with lights, music, and fun. And don't miss PLU Party Night. It's every Thursday, 9 p.m. until midnight for just $11 per person. Leagues are forming now for men, women, and kids, so stop by today. Paradise Bowl, located just a half-mile south of the PLU campus on Pacific Avenue. From everyone here at Paradise, we wish the Lutes a great season.
I spent months looking for the right apartment. Then someone told me about Bernmar Apartments. They're just 3 blocks from campus, and they feature affordable, spacious rooms. See their ad on Craigslist or call Lou at 253-536-3676.
Stay tuned to KLAY after the postgame for PLU for Don Cathy Live.
Lutz covering 72 yards in 8 plays for the score. The 4-yard touchdown pass, Zach Halverson to Tim Orr, the tight end. And the point after no good. The Lutz made it 6-0. 10.5 minutes left to go in this opening quarter. Here's Nick Kaler with the kickoff. Comes down on the near sideline to the 15-yard line up to the 20-25. And nailed hard as he gets across the 25-yard line. On the return for Hamline is Kevin Ackerley. So Hamline will start. They'll spot it at about the 30-yard line, right at the 30.
Nice tackle there by Ben Kaesner, sophomore linebacker. He came flying through, and it looked like there was a little bit of a seam up the middle there for Hamline, but he closed it in a hurry. And great tackle. And with the kick, you know, they get it at the 30, but they're having to kick a long ways back. It's kind of the opposite of the NFL team.
Hunter Safety is the quarterback, a senior from Maple Grove, Minnesota, and he's caught behind the line as they take the dive inside, and Safety was going to go around left end, and he found himself all alone with a couple of black shirts to nail him back at the 26, a loss of 4, and they're right up to the line of scrimmage to run the second down play. Safety keeps the football and goes no place again. Again, he faked the dive, wanted to keep it and run it himself, and the Lutes were right there. So Safety, no gain on that play, and again, they're right at the line of scrimmage. So they run the no-huddle offense here, but it hasn't been effective thus far. Safety up under center, going to give to the fullback off the left side. He finds a little bit of room. And that's, I believe, is it Meyer on the carry that time? Let's check that.
No huddle on fourth there.
Well, a fourth down, and they are right up at the line of scrimmage. Fourth down at 6. Safety looks to throw. Rose to his right. He's going to be caught behind the line and dropped at the 25. Luke got after him on that one. And they dropped him for a loss on fourth down as Hamline went for it. PLU holds, and the Lutes take over the football. Making the play there for the Lutes defensively was Eric Magnuson.
I've never seen that type of thing happen ever really in the first part of a game, to go for it on fourth and long like that and now give the ball up to PLU on the 25-yard line. It's, quite a big deal, but it looks like there's a problem here. The Lutes, I don't know what they're doing. They're waiting. Timeout. Yeah.
Let's see. Now Scott Westering's going to call a timeout. So we're going to take a break right here. We break with the Lutes on top 6-0. We're back in a moment on this PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
Have you found yourself in the doghouse because you're spending too much time glued to the radio following the Lutes? Well, let Blitz & Company Florists unlock the doghouse door. Go to blitzflorist.com or visit them on Pacific Avenue, 3 blocks north of Tacoma Sheraton.
Paradise Bowl is proud to be your local family fun center. We feature 32 lanes and a full-service restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Join us Friday and Saturday nights at midnight for Rock and Bowl with lights, music, and fun. And don't miss PLU Party Night. It's every Thursday, 9 p.m. until midnight for just $11 per person. Leagues are forming now for men, women, and kids, so stop by today. Paradise Bowl, located just a half-mile south of the PLU campus on Pacific Avenue. From everyone here at Paradise, we wish the Lutes a great season.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Animaniacs, your source for anime, DVDs, manga, and all your favorite accessories and collectibles. Visit them at 14806 Pacific Avenue, next to Midas Muffler, and at Animaniacs.com.
Stay tuned on KLAY for Don and Kathy Live immediately following today's game.
Well, 4 straight plays, 4 no-huddle plays by Hamline to no avail. They go no plays. Palouse hold on fourth down on the play by Eric Magnuson behind the line, and PLU takes over at the Hamline 25-yard line. And now we got a penalty flag down on the play.
And they got 12 guys on the field, and they had 13. And one guy just ran off.
Now this one's going to go on the defense, apparently.
They still have 12 guys on the field. Someone needs to come off.
Now let's count them up for the Lutes.
Now they finally sent one guy off.
So Carlson and Christensen go to the left, McDermott to the right, Logatala in the backfield along with Brandon James. Running room to the right for the Lutes, who lead it 6-0. They have the ball at the Hamline 20-yard line. Halverson in the shotgun. Gives right up the middle of James. Big hole, 20, cuts outside, 15, 10, 5, he's in! Simon James cuts it back 20 yards for score.
Just a great job of blocking up front. They ended up pulling a couple of guards, and in some ways, like, the old student body, when you just pitch the ball out, it was almost that action. And then Carlson did a great job of blocking in the end zone. There was a little misdirection, and James really didn't even get touched all the way in.
So the Lutes have jumped on top quickly. On the opening drive, they go 72 yards, and here, after holding on fourth down, they go 25 yards in just one play with the 5-yard penalty on first down, and then on the first down from the 20-yard line, James takes it in. The Lutes will go for the 2-point conversion here. Single setback is James. They've got 3 wide receivers left. And now Halverson wants a timeout. And we're going to keep it here for the time being as the Lutes wave their offense to the near sidelines to make sure everybody's on the same page. Hey, sports fans, let's talk trash. Did you know that you can save money by increasing the amount that you recycle? Well, your friends at Murray's DM Disposal and DM Recycling make it easy. They've been serving Pierce County for over 40 years with a full line of residential, commercial, and construction on-site solid waste and recycling services. And they're a proud sponsor of your PLU Lutes. That's DM Disposal and DM Recycling. So the Lutes again quickly jump out there after the nice drive on their opening possession. The defense pulls Hamline, in this case, not the 3-and-out, but the 4-and-out. And then taking over, James goes 20 yards on the scamper, up the middle, and then cutting to his left, angling inside the pylon at the corner of the end zone for 6 points. And the Lutes now trying for the 2-point conversion to make it a 14-0 lead.
Well, obviously, Hamline had made up their mind they were going to go no huddle, and they were going to go for it on 4th down no matter what. And, you know, when you're that deep in your own territory, it can backfire, and it really did on Hamline right away.
Lutes again with 3 wide receivers left. We've got another penalty marker down. Yeah, let's see what this one is all about now. I think this is going to go against Hamline, but I'm not.
I think he thought there was 12 players on the field, and there's 11, so he
now they wave it off. Yep, they do wave it off, so no penalty on the play, and we'll get started with a 2-point conversion here in just a moment. So again, the Lutes have McDermott. They've got Carlson and Bowen all to the left. James the only setback alongside Zach Halverson. They send Carlson in motion left to right toward the formation. Give to James right up the middle, and he's in for the 2-point conversion. So we'll take a break here. 9:18 left to go in the second quarter. First quarter, that is. The Lutes lead it now 14-0, and we're back in just a moment with more PLU football from Pioneer Sports.
Are you looking to replace the windows in your home? Then look to Clear Choice Windows, your replacement window experts. They feature beautiful state-of-the-art windows designed to cut your energy costs while increasing the value of your home. Find out more at clearchoicewindowsllc.com.
If you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, then you know the importance of keeping your project costs down. Why buy a piece of specialized equipment for a one-time job when you can rent from Star Rentals? From backhoes and compressors to small tools and power equipment, you'll find everything you need. For rates, call 474-0577. That's 474-0577, or log on to starrentals.com. Star Rentals in Tacoma, the preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Could you use more storage space? At Save More Mini Storage, you can store anything for as long as you want for a low rate. And we make it as easy. Surf on over to SaveMoreMiniStorage.net. Save More Mini Storage since 1993. Save more, spend less.
Stay tuned to KLAY after the post game for PLU for Don Cathy Live.
The Lutes have a short drive after holding on 4th down, and they lead it now 14-0 as Nick Kaler kicks it off. Right in the middle of the field to the 20-25, a little bit of a hole, and getting to the 35 and up near the 40 on the return are the Pipers of Hamline. And on the return that time was Tim Queck. Queck's a guy who actually is an interesting part of what they've done. He had 41 catches last year, including 3 touchdown grabs. He only rushed the ball twice all season last year, but they moved him to a running back position where it's mainly going to be a runner rather than a receiver. Safely turns and gives off the right-hand side and getting a couple of yards on the carry there. With the football for the Pipers is Blake Cook, a junior from Fridley, Minnesota. And he'll get to the 43. It'll be second down and about 7 yards to go.
In that first series, at least 2 of the dive fakes that Hamline had went the wrong way. The dive back went one way, the quarterback went the other way, and we'll see if they can get things stirred up in this series.
Stay 3 turns and gives to Cook once again, and he powers forward to the 45-yard line, got a couple of yards. We'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Let's set the Lutes defense for you. for PLU. Thomas Heaney's in there at the nose tackle position right now. A transfer from Humboldt State, 6 feet, 255-pound sophomore. Sam Lavis, a sophomore from Spokane at one defensive end, 6 feet, 220. And Eric Magnuson, one of the defensive captains, a senior from East Wenatchee, Eastmont High School, 6'3" and 240. So those are the three guys up front right now for PLU. With State free on 3rd down and 5, going to run it, going to come up short. And again, Eric Magnuson and Sean McFadden were there to double team State free, knock his helmet off. He picks up a yard. It'll be 4th down and 3.
And he still hasn't put his helmet back on. He's kind of hunched over here. They're bringing the trainers out, but he really took a lick there.
The rest of the Lutz starting off, defense rather. The inside backers, Michael Warsaw, senior from Bend, Oregon, 6 feet and 215 pounds. Adam Schwander, who was the second leading tackler a year ago. Schwander, a senior from Beaverton, Oregon, 6'1" and 212. Jordan Patterson, a sophomore from Lakes High School, 6'2" and 235 at one outside backer. And Stephen McDonald, the other, from Coopville, 5'11" and 180. The cornerbacks, Tyler Angevine, 5'9" and 160 from Kent Lake. And Justin Whitman, the senior from Liberty of Issaquah, 6 feet and 185. And the safeties are Sean McFadden, the sophomore from Honolulu, 6'1", 185. And Jordan Davison, the senior from Sultan, 6'2" and 204. So the Lutz awaiting a punt this time. As it's Ferguson backed up at his own 32-yard line. Ferguson gets it away, a line drive kick, angling for the far side. Angevine lets it hit inside the 5-yard line. It'll be touched down at about the 1. Boy, great kick there. That thing's going to go for 59 yards with no return.
It was a nice kick, and as I was kind of watching, I couldn't tell. Sometimes these jerseys, Steve, they get a little bit hunched up, and you can't tell the 8s from the 0s and how that all goes. And so last year, a couple of occasions, Luke got penalized for having the same number out on the field at once, and I thought I saw 2 20s. But I don't know that Tyler Christensen would have been out on the punt return team.
So the Lutz 1st and 10 from their own 1-yard line now. Halverson about 5 yards deep in the end zone in the shotgun. He's got Cody Porin and Brandon James there as running backs, and now we're going to have a timeout. So let's take a break right here with the Lutz on top 14-0. We're back with more of this PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
Corsmo Construction is proud to support Pacific Lutheran University on campus and on the field. All of us on the Corsmo team congratulate PLU athletes on their drive to perform at the highest levels. Corsmo Construction, proud to be a part of the Lute Athletics team. Go Lutes!
Locals love the beauty of the Northwest, the mountains, the trees, and especially the water. If you'd like to add a little Northwest beauty to your home, contact Cascade Reflections Custom Ponds and Waterfalls. We specialize in designing features that capture the heart of the Northwest. From waterfalls and streams to indoor bubblers, koi ponds, and even fly fishing ponds. Featuring design, installation, service, and supplies. Call 435-0106 or see our work online. Cascade-Reflections.com. Looking for homemade food that's fast, fresh, and affordable? Then come to Little Bird Deli. For over 15 years, we've been making delicious homemade soups, salads, and sandwiches. See our menu at littlebirddeli.com. Remember, we deliver.
Stay tuned to KLAY after the postgame for PLU for Don Cathy Live.
So the Lutz will try it again from their own 1-yard line as they lead it 14-0 here midway through the first quarter. And again, it's Cody Porin and Brandon James in the backfield for Zach Halverson, who's up under center. Going to give off the left-hand side, and that's Porin, who will get maybe a yard to about the 2, possibly the 3-yard line. Cody Porin, a junior from Cedro Woolley in Mount Vernon, 6 feet, 219. He's had limited playing time but at the last couple of years for the Lutz, but has been effective at times. I remember a game a couple of years ago, I believe that was at either Lewis and Clark or Willamette, where he had a couple of touchdown runs. So Lutz with more spread offense now on 2nd down and 9. Halverson, 7 yards deep in the end zone, looks right and fires, incomplete. That one was intended out on the corner that time for the Lutz. Horn, I believe, was out there, or was it Andrew Carlson? It was Andrew Carlson. So bring up 3rd down and 10 now. The Lutz deep in their own territory, leading it here 14-0 with 6:30 to go in this opening quarter.
You mentioned Cody Porin, and yeah, his freshman year, there were a few injuries. Brandon James hurt his hand, and a few other guys who got hurt in the backfield, and a couple of freshmen got some opportunities, and he's a wrestler, and I remember he did a good job blocking, too, and when he got an opportunity to be in the backfield.
McDormand and Christensen to the left, and Carlson to the right. Now we got a penalty flag, and I think a delay of game coming up against PLU.
Which it's probably about as small of a penalty as you can get, because it's half the distance to the goal, but it was probably about 18 inches from the goal line anyways, where it was.
Yeah. This is one that will drive your head coach and your offensive coordinators dilly, when you're back inside your own 1-yard line, looking at 3rd down and about 11 yards to go. Same formation, a couple of wide receivers left, and 2 to the right. Here's Halverson deep in the end zone, looks down the middle and throws just a little bit too tall that time for Tyler Christensen out at the 15-yard line. Had he been able to get to it, he would have had enough for the first down, but off his fingertips, so the Lutz will be forced to punt for the first time today, and that'll bring on a junior, Connor Lean, to punt it away for PLU. Lean, a sophomore from Hillsboro, Oregon, and a transfer from Pacific. He'll be backed up right at the end line here. And waiting back there deep, once again, will be Tim Quack, who will be standing at about the PLU 40. Lane waits for the snap and takes it and gets a kick away. Not a bad one. Nice high spiral. Comes to Quack at the 41-yard line. Eludes one man and trying to get to the sidelines. Finally dumps it about the 37. Not a bad kick there. About a 40-yarder on the part of Lane. And a 4-yard return for Quack. Hamline will have the ball at the BLU 37-yard line. By far their best field position of the afternoon.
And in actuality, really good for the situation when you have basically 10 yards of space. That's a few yards less than you're normally used to, and the ball gets snapped back to you. You're just trying to catch it and kick it as quick as you can so that it doesn't get blocked. And then to tack onto it, that Hamline ends up having an illegal block. It worked out great for the Lutz in that. Basically about as good as you can ask.
They step off 10 yards back to the 47-yard line. Say 3 up under center. He's got 4 wide receivers, and he hands instead to the running back, who almost didn't get that one before the Lutz got there. Thought one of the guys in black and gold was going to end up taking that handoff for a moment, but the handoff goes for no gain on the play right back to the line of scrimmage, as it was Quack on the carry.
Well, sometimes when you run the option, it could be a little bit more outside, like when UPS was doing more of their option veer stuff. You're going down the line, and it's a little bit more of a slow read. But a lot of times in this triple option stuff, that pullback hits really quick, and that looks slow developing on that play there.
Actually, it's Adam Meyer who stepped in there at quarterback now, replacing Satry. Here's Meyer. Oh, and it's intercepted. Stephen McDonald comes up with it. He tipped it in the air and then able to make the interception. And he's out of bounds at the Hamline 49-yard line. Great tip drill on the part of McDonald, who tipped it in the air and then was able to scoop it up and come up with a pick.
Really an incredible play, and when you think about it, how you're going to be so run-oriented, especially those linebackers reading your keys and making sure you take care of the run. And the Lutz defense has done a great job of taking care of the run so far. Then to be able to drop into that curl zone, get his hand on the ball, tip it up in the air, and then come down with it. Just a great play.
So the Lutz come up with it on the turnover, and they'll have it at the Hamline 49-yard line. First and 10. Halverson play fakes, rolls to his right, gets to the corner, fires it out there incomplete. Didn't really have anybody out there. He's looking for Luke Hodson, the tight end. And Hodson had gone up the sideline, and the ball angling out of bounds that time. I think Zach just realized he was running out of time and space as he went to his right on the roll and threw it away out of bounds.
They're using a little bit of play action there to try to see if they can get the defense flowing one way, and then coming out, he did have a lineman that was curling around to help him out, but he did get pressure because Hamline wasn't going with the face.
Buddy McNeil in there at wide receiver now for PLU, one of three wides. Here's Halverson, play faking once again, sets up the screen on the near side to Logatala, and Logatala jumps off his feet after he gets 3 yards on the little screen pass. A little misdirection in the screen back to the near sideline, and Logatala picks up 3.
And that was a little bit of a size mismatch there. Logatala, which I'm not sure if this is an accurate height weight, but it says 5'7", 250 for Logatala, and he ended up going up against a 205-pound linebacker, but he went really low, and if he was able to get around him, there was a lot of green turf to go.
3rd down and 7 now for the Lutes. 2 wides to either side. In the shotgun, Halverson in his own territory at the 49. Pump fakes, now scrambled to his right. Looks right, throws, incomplete. A little too tall for Tyler Bowen down at the 40-yard line. And the Lutes will be faced with 4th down now, and that'll bring on Lean once again to punt it for PLU.
Kind of interesting because Halverson, his first 4 attempts were all completions and, right on the money. And then the last couple of times he's ended up being a little high, and this last one he's flushed out of the pocket. And sometimes throwing the ball high seems to be a little bit of a product of nerves early on, or you're hyped up and you overstride and the ball sails on you a little bit. So hopefully you can kind of settle in and get a few more completions.
Lane waits for the snap and takes it. No pressure on. Gets away. A nice kick angling for the near sideline. It bounces inside the 10 and goes out of bounds at the 6. A nice kick there from Connor Lane. They're going to say actually at the 8-yard line is where they'll say it's crossed the boundary, but nonetheless a 38-yard kick with no return.
So great job on the special teams there. I know the Lutes probably would have liked to have capitalized on that turnover and getting the ball in great field position. And, oftentimes you hear coaches talk about trying to go with a quick strike when the other team's down, but getting the ball inside the 10 is a great job for the Lutes special teams.
Going to say in the last series, obviously Meyer a better passer of the 2 quarterbacks, and he's in there now with PLU leading at 14-0. Meyer up under center. Meyer gives up inside, penalty marker down on the play as the fullback gets nothing. Just back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Adam Meyer completed 53% last year. In fact, had over nearly 1,600 yards passing, including 9 touchdowns. He's a senior from Cold Spring, Minnesota, 6'2", 175. And he's in there at quarterback right now, replacing Connor Safrey, who didn't have much luck in a couple of series to begin the ball game. The penalty going to go against Hamline, I believe, against the Pipers here, as Wayne DeLosto will give us the indication. Chop block against the Pipers. So half the distance from, the 9-yard line back just inside the 5.
And by the way, Steve, I saw Connor Safrey walking across the other side of the field here with a coach, and his helmet is off. So just speculation, but you're so careful these days with concussions and head things that they don't even deal with it at all.
That's a good point. And brings us back to the fact that he did have his helmet jarred loose and off his head earlier in this first quarter. The first down and long. Meyer gives up inside, a little bit of a hole this time as the carry up inside by Blake Cook, the junior from Gridley, Minnesota. Then he gets across the 10-yard line to the 12, so it'll be a pickup on the play of about 8. It'll be second down, let's call it 7 yards to go.
And the Lutes have been really stout on the run defense, and actually there really hasn't been much pass offense either by Hamline. So in either way, but they've really done a great job of really maintaining and controlling that line of scrimmage.
Myers has the man in motion, gives to the fullback inside. He's got a yard, and that's it. Lutes shut it down that time. As both Thomas Heaney and also Adam Schwander in on the tackle for PLU. It'll be third down, let's call it 6 yards to go. Less than 3 minutes to go, opening quarter. PLU leads it by a score of 14-0. Myers sets him. Running room to his left. He's in that 3-4 look. Meyer gives off the left-hand side. A little bit of an opening this time. Is squirting through for what could be enough for the first down. On the carry for the Pipers is Corey Touchette. Touchette, a freshman. In fact, he's another Northwest product. He's from Bainbridge Island, Bainbridge High School. Touchette 6'1" and 185, and he does have enough for the first down as he picks up 6.
And he kind of ran, almost looked like a little veer off the guard tackle, and did a decent job of finding a hole and getting first down.
Touchette stays in there as a running back now for Meyer. Meyer turns and gives to Touchette, and this time the Lutes just stop it. Haney is there. Sam Lavis was in on the tackle as well for PLU. So Haney, the sophomore, and transfer from Humboldt State, and Lavis, the sophomore from Spokane, shut it down. Second down and 10 coming up.
And Haney came here via his brother, who played for PLU, and kind of heard about it. And he's been here since last spring, so he's been kind of working out with the team and getting some systems down.
Michael Tuias-Sissoko in there at nose tackle now, a sophomore from Arrowhead High School in Everett, 6'1", 271. And here's a turn and switch off the right-hand side to Queck, busts through and gets across the 25, breaks another tackle, 30 to the 35. Tim Queck, the senior, showing good balance and drive there. Queck from Annandale, Minnesota, picks up a first down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and you mentioned he had most of the experience catching balls, really not a whole lot running the football, but he looked like a running back there and really pretty shifty and got away from a few arm tackles early on.
Well, Hamline, it's the best drive so far today. Started this drive at their own 38. They're now at the 37-yard line, at their own 8, that is, rather. The first and 10 for the Pipers. Right side of the field left. Touchette is the single running back, so they've got a trip set left. Meyer rolls in that direction, looks to throw. Gets some pressure, now throws it away incomplete. T.J. Sook was coming up with pressure. Sook, the senior from Mark Morris in Longview. And putting pressure on Adam Meyer, who just threw it toward his bench. It'll be second and 10.
One of the things that's kind of interesting is I think PLU came in defensively thinking that you can't practice against the speed that you'll see in this option. So assuming that, maybe there's some things that they won't be technically ready for, and as the game goes on, that they'll get better and better after seeing the speed that they came out of their gates just so great.
Up under center is Meyer on second down and 10. Meyer runs the option, runs into his man, pitches to Queck, and Queck is caught behind the line back at the 34. A little bit of a mix-up there as the dive play to the fullback. Meyer and the running back, I believe it was Touchette, ran into one another, and then the pitch was to Queck, and Queck had all kinds of black shirts in pursuit to bring him down at the 35, a loss of 2.
And so the Lutes, there's a lot of assignment football in option play that guys have different gaps, and they are specifically going at, the fullback and then on inside out with some of the safeties, and they just did an awesome job of swarming to the ball there.
Final play of the first quarter after one. The Lutes lead at 14-0. We're back with the second quarter in just a moment. Our PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
The only thing as fun as the Loot scoring 31 points is visiting Baskin-Robbins and choosing from their 31 flavors. Featuring all your favorite ice cream, shakes, malts, sundaes, and more. Visit Baskin-Robbins near campus at 12155 Pacific Avenue South.
Is your group planning an event or attending a game at Sparks Stadium? Then remember Hesselgrave International Charters and Tours for all your transportation needs. Hesselgrave is a full-service charter bus company dedicated to quality and safety. Whether it's a private or public tour, you'll appreciate their clean and comfortable coaches. For information or to book your event, call 863-6642 or go to hesselgrave.com. Compare their low rates.
Hesselgrave Charter Buses, setting the standard in first-class service.
Joe Stortini, owner of Giuseppe's Ristorante and previous coach for the Loggers, enjoyed playing the Lutes in '75. He's now honored to have you as a guest at Giuseppe's Italian Ristorante. Enjoy the finest Italian cooking at 2207 North Pearl in Tacoma, or go to giuseppes.com.
So ready to start the second quarter with the Lutes on top by a score of 14-0, dominating the first quarter. 72-yard drive in 8 plays, capped by Halverson's 4-yard touchdown toss to Tim Orr. And then a 20-yard touchdown run by Brandon James. That followed a Lutes taking over at the Hamline 25-yard line. So the Lutes dominate the first quarter stats. PLU 100 yards of total offense to 39 for the Pipers. Third down and 12 yards to go for Hamlin from the 35. Here's Quest looking to his left, and he way overshot his wide receiver out there on the play. That was Arthur Moore, a freshman from Maplewood, Minnesota. And it went way over his head that time. Meyer tossed it. I'm not sure whether there was a mix-up on the pattern there from the freshman receiver or not, but it's going to be fourth down, and that will bring on Ferguson, a Kentridge High School product, who will kick it for the Pipers on this punt.
And even just the meshing of, there's a few instances where you said he ran into the fullback, the dive back. You mentioned that. And if you haven't had as many reps as the backup quarterback or even throwing the ball, you kind of end up having some issues early on in the season.
Angevine takes the ball on the run. It hits him in the chest. It's a rough punt, but fortunately the Lutes recovering back at the 30-yard line. On the ball for PLU is Johnny Vollen, the sophomore from Thomas Jefferson High School. Makes the recovery as Taylor Angevine wanted to take it on the run and hit him right in the shoulder pad.
You know, Steve, I think that actually is Tyler Christensen, and so maybe I was right on that one time where there was 2 20s on the field at the time, because he was in the offensive huddle right now, and then he just came off with a little bit of a knee hobbling there.
So the Lutes with wide receivers to either side. McDermott and Andrew Carlson to one side, Buddy McNeil and Tyler Bowen to the other. And a single setback for Zach Halverson on first down from the 30. We'll swing pass to the right side and off the fingertips of Bowen, incomplete. It'll be second down for the Lutes from their own 30-yard line. The Lutes lead it here early in the second quarter, 14-0.
They tried to run a little bit of sort of a bubble screen to Tyler Bowen, and in some ways it looks like an easy pass, and it probably should be compared to some of the others. But the speed of the ball, if you can just float it out there, it's a little bit better for the receiver, but you don't want to float it too much because then the DBs will come up and hit the receiver right as he catches it.
Horn and James in the offset eye for Halverson on second down here. Zach turns and gives to James, busted across the left-hand side, 35, still on his feet to the 40, and powers to the 42-yard line. Brandon James, 12 yards of solid power running, and a first down for PLU.
Just great job of keeping his motor going and keeping his legs pushing, because it looked like he was stopped about 2 yards short of the first down, but he just kept himself going, and there was a couple extra little pushes, and then he went across the sticks to get a new first down there for PLU.
So Brandon James better than 50 yards in the afternoon now as we're early in the second quarter. That includes a touchdown run of 20 yards. Wide side of the field to the right for Halverson on 1st and 10 for the 42. They run the option to that side. Pitch out to James at the corner. Cuts it back to the 40. No place to go for Brandon this time. He's caught behind the line. He'll be brought down for a loss of a couple. In on the tackle for the Pipers. And a pair there. Damon Woods, the defensive back. And also in on that play was Elijah Juan Stifler, It's one of my favorite names. Stifler, who was one of their leading tacklers a year ago. He's a sophomore from Troutdale, Oregon, as a matter of fact, 5'11" and 205. Lutz second down and long. Slotted right in motion now. Lutz, they give up inside to James, and Brandon's got only a yard as he's nailed up inside that time defensively by Michael Doherty, the senior from Farmington, Minnesota. Doherty, the defensive tackle, making the play, so the Lutz will be faced with third down and 11 coming up.
You know, they have tried to mix some things up here a little bit and go a little bit more on the run on this series. It's a great first run, and then having some problems this last two plays, and now in a little bit more of a passing formation.
Bowen and McDermott to the left. Andrew Carlson to the near side from the shotgun. And what do we got? Delay game. Yep. 5-yard penalty against the Lutz. So instead of 3rd and 11, 3rd and 16 coming up now. Hey fans, the Ram Restaurant and Brewery invites you to join them after today's game and after Afterglow. And your program is a special offer from the Ram with 3 nearby locations and 8 Puget Sound restaurants. The Ram Restaurant and Brewery is ready to serve all PLU fans and alumni for lunch, dinner, or late night. The Ram Restaurant and Brewery, join them after the game and after Afterglow. So let's go trip set to the left this time. They give up inside to James, finds a hole, breaks one tackle, and almost got out of another one. Dives on out to the 44-yard line, so he does get 8 yards on the carry. Had he been able to break that last tackle, he might have gone for a first down. Instead, it's going to be 4th down at about 7 for PLU.
You know, one of the things that may kind of be an issue here with getting the plays in and things of that nature is that you end up having a couple of guys that normally would be helping with the offense not here today. Trevor Roberts is unable to be here today, as well as Jason Johnson. And so Jason Johnson had been in the booth, and Trevor had been helping call some plays on the field, and neither of those guys are here this afternoon.
Lean gets off a punt to the near side, gets a nice roll inside the 20, inside the 10, and out of bounds at the 7. Again, another fine punt by Connor Lean, all the way down to the 7-yard line. That one's going to go for 51 yards.
Well, he's had a great afternoon.
He really
so
has.
far.
He has had an outstanding afternoon. And great to see the Lutz pin Hamline back deep. The Lutz offense, after just firing on all cylinders early, they've kind of stalled here in the late stages of the first quarter and here early in the second. But the defense has really continued to play extremely well. They've just had Hamline shut down all day, basically. And they do so again here on first down. No gain on a run off the right side.
And I think that there was a feeling that the defense might have to, you know, as even Scott said early on, you keep them in the ball game while the offense gets itself, you know, righted. And the offense looks great right off the bat, and the defense has just been stout this whole, you know, first quarter and then through this first part of the second quarter as well.
Meyer up under center, and they give to his fullback, and he'll get a yard, and that's about it. Again, they give up inside. Goes to Blake Cook, and the 200-pounder gets to about the 10-yard line or thereabouts. It's going to be 3rd down and 9 for the Pipers. Hamline, after one quarter, with we mentioned they had 39 yards of total offense in the first quarter of play. And they've really done nothing else so far in the second quarter. A tight formation with the exception of one wide receiver. They give on the flanker around. That's Queck trying to find some room, and he's got to get a yard, and that's about it. Tuya Sissoko was then on the stop. T.J. Sook was also there. Penalty marker down on the play. Late flag. And we'll have to wait and see on that one. If it goes against the Lutz, it will cost them a first down because PLU had it stopped up on 3rd down. They had them well short back around the 11-yard line.
What happened, I think, is the lineman came out and they went at Sean McFadden's knees, and he didn't like it. They didn't call the penalty, and so as the guy is still at his legs, he kind of shoved his shoulder pads as Sean was getting up, and so with that, they called the penalty, which, as you said, it was going to give the Lutes great field position, and now it appears that they will be getting the first down.
10 minutes to go in the second quarter with PLU on top. I score 14-0. Steve Thomas and Carl Hosep with you. Next Saturday, by the way, the Lutes, a very interesting game next week down in Southern California when they take on Cal Lutheran, a team that's ranked in the top 20, and a club that's playing at McMinnville against Linfield today. So that'll be interesting to see how that one comes out, and also the rematch of the Lutes and the Kingsmen last year. Cal Lutheran came here to Sparks as a very highly touted team, and they lost to PLU 35-20 last year here. And Cal Lutheran was a team that ended up with just that one loss going into the postseason. They did make the postseason, whereas the Lutes had one loss and did not make postseason play.
It's a rematch of last year's season opener for both teams, too, where Cal Lutheran beat Linfield and, started off on a good note there.
Penalty does give Hamline a first down. Here's Meyer looking up the right side and throwing it incomplete, and another late flag down on the play at the far sideline. And let's see what that one's about.
Well, it looks like they're going to call, and sometimes if they call pass interference or holding, it could be, it's a very fine line. I think they're going to call that on the Lutes here. The receiver that tried to kind of do like the old whirly bird route, and I can't remember what's the Best of Times or some. There was this old movie that Robin Williams kind of did this, where he sort of moved his arms around and then did a 360 spin, which never would have ever worked in a game. And it looks like they're going to call pass interference on the Lutes, where the guy did kind of try to do a spin, and the ball, it didn't seem to me, had been even thrown, and then one of the Lutes was kind of being physical with him, and then as he tried to get out of his break, they were both there. To me, the ball wasn't even catchable. It sailed over both the guys' heads, and neither of them would have got to it.
Yeah, it was 8 or 9 yards over the head of the receiver on the play, but interference it is. First down and 10, Hamline at their own 35. Meyer under center, and there's some movement, but they didn't catch this one. It looked like there was some movement along the offensive line. It is Blake Cook who gets the carry off the left side and picks up about 3.
So now, Hamline really getting a break where, their best drive, in essence, has been aided by 2 penalties, and I think both of them are, moderately questionable. For sure, the pass interference one.
So second down at 7. Doc Schwanke goes as a wide receiver out to the right. Cook in the backfield. Quack gets the pitch, going from left to right, trying to get away from pressure and can't do it. As Lucian all wrapped up and dropped back to the 45. Ball came loose. PLU says they have the football. They're trying to split the combatants up over there and get down to where the ball is. See who's got it. I think it's still going to be Hamline possession here. At the bottom of the pile for PLU is Eric Magnuson, one of their co-captains. It's a loss of 3. It'll be third down and 10.
And Magnuson switched to jersey numbers. We'd been used to seeing him as a 94, and he went down to 44, which was Brandon James's number, and Brandon James decided to just cut that. 1-4 would be enough, so he's just wearing 4, and so seeing Eric at the end position 44 is a little bit odd for me this year.
Third down and 10 from the 35. Leeds stack it in there now. Let's see whether they come with a blitz of some kind here. They give up inside to Quack, and he's caught from behind. The backside pursuit, and now there's a late flag on the play.
And it looks like they may call that on PLU, where it was a hugely late hit on Hamline, no flag, and then Michael Tuiasosopo came and shoved the guy that had the big late hit, and they might get another penalty on PLU, which is just crazy.
Well, they get it all sorted out. Lane DeLosto with the indication there. Yep, personal foul against the Lutes after the play. And a first down after PLU again had contained that drive. Instead, it's a first down at the PLU 48. So Hamline started this drive back at their own 8-yard line. And really through penalties, 3 of them now, they've managed to pick up a first down and gain almost 50 yards on this drive, mainly through the penalty. 1st and 10, running room to the left for Meyer. He's in the shotgun this time. He's going to give to Cook up the middle, and Cook's going to pound it for about 5 down to the 43. Yeah, well, he's got to shake it off here and just, quit worrying about the knees and the penalties and the late hits and just kind of concentrate on stuffing the option attack here. To 2nd down and 5 for Hamline with 7.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. PLU leads at 14-0. Schwanke comes to the near side. Terry Schwartz is a wide receiver to the far side. And they run the option left, and Meyer keeps it. He's got a first down as he takes it inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line. A pickup of 6 and a first down.
And that's definitely true, Steve, but when it seems like you got 3 questionable ones that all extend drives, it starts to get a little bit frustrating, and like you mentioned, you just got to play. The one thing that was just crazy about the Tuyas Sissoko penalty is you got 6 officials out there. The one that happened right before was questionable. I mean, you could say offsetting. To me, that would be okay, but not just call it on the loose.
Cook alongside now as they go to that double wing formation. Quick in motion. Back to throw as Meyer looks to his right and flips it out there incomplete. I go to the sideline, and the pass off the fingertips. The intended receiver out there is Zach Deichman. Deichman, a freshman from Phoenix, Arizona, 5'8" and 160. So 2nd down and 10. This drive has chewed up about 5 minutes off the clock as well, as both the Lutes and the Pipers have gone scoreless here in the second quarter. We're down at 6:43 until halftime. Meyer looks it over. Lutes come with a blitz inside, and penalty flags are down now. It's I hesitate to even guess anymore. This one's going to be a false start against Hamline.
And as Hamline, came out just being extremely, like we already talked about, no huddle, just trying to go as fast as they can and going for it on 4th down. Since then, they've become far more conservative, obviously aided by some penalties, but they've really tried to eat some clock up and see if they can slow this game down.
2nd down at 15. Lutes again pinch in there, and they've got penalty flags down once again as the snap came high to Meyer, who fumbled the football, but it looked like this one might also go against Hamline. Let's double check here. Yeah, false start against the Pipers once again, so 2 in a row there. We'll make it 2nd down at 20 with the ball back at the 47.
So now you kind of wonder when you get into this position and you get 2nd and 20, what their philosophy is going to be. Are they going to try to throw the ball down the field a little bit with perhaps a little bit better throwing quarterback? Or are they going to try to keep going on the ground and see if they can just, get little bits and chunks?
2nd down and long. Meyer going to give up inside to Cook. Big hole, 40, 35. Rumbles his way down to the 32-yard line. It's a big chunk of that yardage back, about 15. Make it 14 down to the 33. So a gain of 14 for Cook. It'll be 3rd down and 6 coming up now for Hamline.
A little bit of reverse psychology, maybe just kind of going for the dive to get a little chunk, but Luke's looking for maybe some things outside or perhaps even a pass, and all of a sudden he gets a nice gain there and gets a 3rd down, a manageable 3rd down.
So 3rd and 6, running room to the left for Meyer and company. Fleck in there along with Cook in the backfield. Here's Meyer to throw, fires the bomb up the right-hand side, overshot his man at the far sidelines. That's intended for Terry Schwartz, a senior from St. Paul, just off his fingertips down at the PLU 10-yard line. It'll be 4th down now. We'll see what the Pipers elect to do here. trailing by a couple of scores here with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
And this is generally a spot in small college football where it's too far for a field goal. You feel like it's not that great of an idea to punt, so you maybe want to just go for it.
Arthur Moore is a wide receiver to the left. On the near side comes Schwartz. Up under center is Meyer on 4th down and 6. Sends Queck in motion, runs the option. Caught from behind and dropped. T.J. Swift makes the tackle from the blind side. And Meyer goes down at the 40, a loss of 6 on 4th down, and PLU takes the football.
So a little bit of a relief, I think, there by the defense, and they probably felt like they were out on the field a long time, especially as you mentioned earlier that, you know, the weather is heating up, probably in the 80s somewhere right now. And you know, they finally get a chance to just get off the field after stopping them and give the ball back to the offense.
Well, the Lutes take the football at their own 40-yard line as they finally do stop that drive and get out of it. After all those penalties kept it going. Halverson sets him now. Wide side of the field to the right. Penalty marker down before the ball is snapped. And a procedure call coming up against the Lutes.
Well, that's going to be on Alex McDermott. And Scott used to always talk about how, you know, if you're a receiver and it's not like you're playing in front of 100,000 people and the crowd's going crazy and you can't, it doesn't really matter. You just look at the ball. You know, you're going to be out there anyways. You don't need to guess on a snap count when you're the wideout. You should never really get called for a false start.
Andrew Carlson put wide to the right, slotted inside of him is Tyler Bowen. McDermott and Christensen to the left, and they give us to James off the right side, and they have it bottled up right at the line of scrimmage this time due to the Pipers. So the Lutes who started a little bit with a more open attack early on anyway, found not as many holes in the middle of that Piper defense here in the second quarter. Trying to get something going. 2nd down and 14 coming up with 4:30 left to play. Carlson and Bowen go left. McDermott and Christensen to the right this time for PLU. In the shotgun, Halverson back at the 30. Zach waits for the snap, gets it from Knobloch, rolls to his right and fires, then complete to McDermott across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Alex is pushed out of bounds. That'll be a gain of about 5, so it'll bring up a 3rd down for PLU and 9 yards or possibly 10 yards to go. They're going to spot it at the 40. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Lutes here.
There's a nice pitching catch there, and it's been a while since that first drive since we've had something like that, and Hamline was sending people, and the Lutes did a nice little short roll to the right side to pick up a little bit of change so that hopefully they can have a little more manageable 3rd down.
James the only sent back in the backfield along with Halverson as the Lutes go to 3 wide receivers here. Pipers acting like they might blitz, and they do. Down the middle, fired, caught by McDermott, who slips and falls, but made a nice catch on the play at the 45-yard line. Alex McDermott, good concentration as he hauls it in for a pickup of 16 yards. And as he did so, he kind of got his feet tangled up, trying to reach back for the ball, and went down. Otherwise, he might still be running there.
Well, it was a great job of pocket presence, I thought, by Halverson. He stepped up and threw a nice ball on McDermott. I felt like he saw the 2 safeties, and he was maybe going to make a move and didn't know which way to go because there was a lot of space on either side, and then just tripped himself on maybe on the 45-yard line there.
1st and 10 Lutes at the Hamline 44. Halverson takes the snap, backpedals, screens it out to the sideline, got James, 45-40, 35-30, down and out of bounds at the 28-yard line is Brandon James. A good momentary pause from Halverson in the pocket there, and then just swung it out to his left, little safety bound pass to Brandon James, swinging out of there. And James picks up 16 in the 1st down.
Well, the best screen passes, it's just a big sell job by everyone. The line has to sell that you've mistakenly let the guy go by, not that he can sniff that. And the quarterback has to kind of sell that, hey, I'm not going to throw that so you're close enough to the guys that think they can get you on a sack, but then back up throw a nice ball, and it was a great call and really well executed.
Logatala and James in the offset eye now, and they give to Logatala in the middle, and he's dumped immediately inside the 30 at about the 28-yard line. And Vaha ends up being dumped as he tried to backpedal towards his huddle as well. He got cut down after picking up a yard, and he started to kind of backpedal toward the huddle, and one of his linemen was still on the ground and kind of cut the old legs out there.
Yeah, Nick Oglesby was just taking a little bit long to get up. It sort of looks like that old trick in junior high football when someone kneels down and then another guy pushes you over their back. But it was, an unintentional.
I hate to say I remember that one very well, as a matter of fact, Carl. Lutz, second down and 9 yards to go. Same formation now, 3 wides, 2 of them to the left in the offset eye with Logatala ahead of James in the formation. Rolling left is Halverson, looking back right, got his man out there. That's Tyler Bowen at the 20. Bowen rips down at the 18-yard line. He'll be very close to a first down, though. That time, Halverson took a step to his left, then turned back to his right, and on a crossing pattern was Tyler Bowen going left to right. And he got the football angling toward the near sidelines and got down near the 18. And let's see, is it enough for a first down, or will they bring out the chains here?
Yeah, it looks like they're not going to measure, but it's really close.
Well, third down and just inches here for the Lutz. James and Logatala line up in the backfield behind Halverson, who's up under center. Zach taking his time at the line of scrimmage, up under Burton on block. Turns and gives to Logatala. Big hole, 15, down to the 10. Logatala backpedals his way down to the 6-yard line. Baja Logatala picks up 15 on the carry.
Well, that was a great play call, and to get Logatala kind of going off the right side. I don't think that the clock ended up rolling, which, and probably depending upon where you're coming from, it might be good for the Lutz to kind of keep that clock going and try to score right before the first half. It also could probably benefit Hamline if they've got some time at the end, but really good play call, and Logatala just kind of kept things going. He covered up with both hands to make sure he didn't fumble it. And I think they're going to talk it over to figure out if they're going to put more time on the clock.
Yeah, they did recognize exactly what you said, Carl, and that is that the clock had not rolled down. And now Wayne DeLosto is going to give us the indication of how much time they want run off the clock. 1:37, so they're going to run off another 7 seconds off the clock, and they're going to start it from there once they get it set. But they have not as yet gotten it down to the 1:37 mark. Now they do. So first and goal for PLU. They're going to spot the ball at the 7-yard line. Rocky Rosser is in there as a running back now, along with Logatala. Running room to the left. They give to Logatala off the left-hand side. He powers his way down inside the 5, all the way down to about the 3 or possibly the 2-yard line. Baja Logatala, sophomore from Kent Meridian. Of course, where offensive coordinator Trevor Roberts was the head coach and saw a lot of Logatala. So second down, they're spotted at the 3. McDermott is the lone wide receiver to the right. Halverson sets him. Halverson play fake, looks down the middle, throws, caught, touchdown. That's Luke Hudson, the tight end, who catches it for a score.
They ended up running a bootleg fake. They faked it to the swing sweep guy, came back, and there was actually 2 guys open. It looks definitely like Rocky Rosser was totally there, and also just a nice pitch and catch.
Well, the touchdown will cover 3 yards, and here's the point after on the part of Kaler. But Bowen to hold it, placed down, the kick on the way, and it's strong and good. And we break with 40 seconds to go in the half. Lutz lead it now by a score of 21-0, and we're back in just a moment with more of this PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
Nothing goes better with PLU football than a piping hot Papa John's pizza. At Papa John's, our philosophy is simple. Better ingredients, better pizza. Pick up a piping hot Papa John's pizza today or order at papajohns.com. Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza.
If you want more from your grocery budget, come to the Lakewood Grocery Outlet. At the Lakewood Grocery Outlet, we've stood for quality, service, and fair prices for nearly 20 years. We feature frozen foods, canned foods, health and beauty products, produce, dairy, and now fresh meat. Our remodeled facility has more of everything, so stop by. 11011 Pacific Highway Southwest off I-5 or call 253-581-5333. The Lakewood Grocery Outlet Bargain Market.
Are you in need of legal counsel? Then team up with the law office of Zen and Peter Olberts. Zen and Olberts is a proud PLU alumni who served the area for over 30 years. The law office of Zen and Peter Olberts is happy to help bring you today's broadcast and to support Loot Athletics.
KLAY, Lakewood, Tacoma.
Immediately following today's game on KLAY, Don and Kathy Live.
I think we credited that touchdown to Luke Hodson. Actually, a touchdown catch made by freshman Lucas Santra, 6'5", 225 freshman from Everett High School. So Santra with the touchdown reception. Here's the kickoff to Queck off the right-hand side. He returns across the 20 to the 25 to the 30. So Santra on the receiving end of that 3-yard touchdown pass from Zach Halverson to make it 21-0.
So now the Lute obviously don't want to give up a big play, and the strength of Hamline is to run the football, so you can't give up the gigantic run either, but you want to have your safeties play back and not let anybody get over the top of them.
Meyer rolls to his left to throw, gets pressure from Sook, chased out of the pocket, fires up the left side and completes it, good for about 3 yards, but pushed out of bounds immediately. Nice play by Taylor Angevine to knock the receiver out of bounds. And the clock stops with 21 seconds to go in the half. We're going to take a break here. 20 seconds to go in the half, and we'll be back with more on this PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
What will you build? What will be your legacy? How will you make the world a better place? If you're searching for an answer to these questions, Habitat for Humanity can help. It's a curious thing about Habitat for Humanity. We build houses and something more, something extraordinary. A Habitat build site is where laying one foundation can transform a neighborhood, where painting a room colors an entirely new outlook on life, where installing a window offers a clearer vision of the future, where renovating a home can renew a community, where setting a level can balance a life. You see, Habitat for Humanity builds houses and so much more. So what will you build? Visit Habitat.org to learn more.
Stay tuned to KLAY after the post game for PLU for Don Cathy Live.
Adam Meyer winds up, fires the bomb down the left-hand side, incomplete. Taylor Angevine with excellent coverage on the freshman wide receiver, Arthur Moore. In fact, Angevine was the closest man to the football. That one falls incomplete with 15 seconds to go in the half.
And Angevine has good speed as a corner. In the same token, you'd like to see your safety also be behind as well, and making sure those guys get as much depth as possible, so there really shouldn't be anyone that has a chance to even get behind you.
The 3rd down and 8 yards to go now. Meyer goes to the shotgun. Sends Queck in motion left to right through the formation. Boots do come with a blitz. They're chasing. Meyer, Tuiasosopo's after him. He fires up the sidelines. It's caught by Queck, who's out of bounds, short of a first down at the 38-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and 3 with 4 seconds to go in the half.
They'll probably go for it here. I'm assuming that they will have a play that will take longer than this. So, if they don't get the first down or to obviously get a touchdown, that they would perhaps end up, the half would be over.
Hamline taking a timeout here to talk it over, and you're in the Lute secondary. You want to stand back at about your own 10-yard line. Make sure you keep everybody in front of you. Is your group planning an event or attending a game at Spark Stadium? Then remember Hesselgrave International Charters and Tours for all your transportation needs. Whether it's a private or public tour, for information or to book your event, go to hesselgrave.com. Compare their low rates. They're the best. Hesselgrave Charter Buses, setting a standard in first-class service. So the Lutes, for the most part, have dominated this first half. PLU up around 200 yards of total offense, a little shy of that. Hamline at 64 yards of total offense. And it's been a good first half for Zach Halverson. 10 of 14 for 112 yards and a couple of touchdown passes. Meyer in the gun stands back inside his own 35 now. Lute's going to rush with 6. Here's Meyer stepping up in the pocket. They're after him. Magnuson tries to get to him as he fires it down the sidelines, out of bounds in the final play before the break. So we reached halftime here at Spark Stadium on a warm Saturday afternoon. And at the break, the Lutes lead it by a score of 21-0. We'll be back with halftime in just a moment for our PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
Remember when service really meant something? At Larry's Classic Quality Brake and Muffler, they remember. That's why they've combined the convenience and speed of today's technology with the quality, personalized service we all remember. Larry's offers expert service and repairs on brakes, mufflers, and exhaust systems. So if you want it done right the first time at a price that's fair, remember Larry's Classic Quality Brake and Muffler. You'll find Larry's in Bonnie Lake at 19102 State Route 410. The Lutes are a team equipped for success. There's another team in Tacoma equipped for success. It's Moncrief Construction. They're full-service commercial contractors specializing in all phases of concrete construction, including foundations, flat work, tilt-up walls, concrete floor grinding, and polishing. Moncrief Construction is dedicated to producing a quality product and service at an equitable price. Find out more, see our work, and read our testimonials online at moncriefconstruction.com.
A ball team can't win a championship with just one superstar. It takes teamwork to win the title. At BMW Northwest, they give you the total package. Their sales team works to put you in the best new or used vehicle at the right price. And the extra effort from the service department will make you feel like a superstar. Visit BMW Northwest today at 4011 20th Street East in Fife. Or see them online at bmwnorthwest.com. BMW Northwest. Experience the best at BMW Northwest.
Lakewood Ford is a proud supporter of PLU athletics and the home of award-winning sales and service and a great selection of new and used cars and trucks, over 400 in stock. Check out the entire used inventory at lakewoodford.net. When it's time to shop for a new Ford or a quality used vehicle, or take yours in for service, remember Lakewood Ford. The service department is open Saturday for your convenience. Lakewood Ford, easy to find on I-5 at Bridgeport Way in Lakewood.
Well, we come back to Spark Stadium at halftime. Steve Thomas and Carl Oseth with you, and the Lutes leading by a score of 21-6. Our halftime show brought to you by B&I Coin Shop. They buy and sell coins, silver, jewelry, currency, diamonds, and more. That's the B&I Coin Shop. And really, when you look back at this first half, Carl, it's a first half that was pretty much the tone was set in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter. The Lutes on their opening drive went 72 yards in 8 plays. Zach Halverson completing a 4-yard touchdown pass to tight end Tim Orr to put the Lutes on top 6-0. The point after was no good. That coming 4.5 minutes into the first half of play. Hamline on their first possession went to the no huddle. They ran the ball 4 consecutive times, even on a 4th down and 6, they decided to go for it deep in their own territory. They were stopped on 4th down and 6. PLU took over at the Hamline 25, and after a penalty that gave the Lutes the ball at the 20, one play later, Brandon James a 20-yard touchdown run, and just like that, 5 minutes into the first quarter, the Lutes had a 14-0 lead. And that pretty much tells the story of this first half of action.
Yeah, right away, the Lutes just took control on both sides of the football and were very methodical moving the ball down the field when they got the football right off the bat, off the opening kickoff. And then it was funny because in some ways I was wondering if Hamline even knew, do they know they're going for it on fourth down? Have they counted that this is? But they knew because they sent their defense right on the field right after he was brought down and gave the Lutes the ball at the 25. But I think they probably believed that PLU might not be ready for their triple option. They don't want them to have a chance to huddle and get a new defense in. Let's just get up to the line and run it. And maybe they already had planned out the first couple of plays. And if it's third and long, we're going to run this. If it's third and short, we're going to run this. And sometimes things on paper sound a little bit better than they do in execution. And Lutes got out to a 14-0 lead, and they looked like they were going to really roll.
Later in the first quarter, early in the second, the Lutes came up with a couple of big defensive plays that kind of kept Hamline at bay. Also, Stephen McDonald intercepted a pass and returned it to Hamline at 49, although the Lutes offensively stalled right there. Later in the second quarter, T.J. Sook got a 6-yard loss of quarterback Meyer on a 4th down and 6, and that enabled the Lutes to hold on that 4th down situation, take the football back as well. Meyer had taken over for Connor Stapry. Stapry had his helmet ripped off and batted off in the early going, and Stapry did not return early on, so maybe a possible concussion there for Stapry. We hate to speculate on that, but Meyer did take over in the first quarter. He's been at quarterback the rest of the way in the first half for Hamline. And then the Lutes eventually completed a 60-yard drive in 6 plays with a 3-yard touchdown pass from Zach Halverson to freshman Lucas Santra, and that coming with just a matter of about a minute and a half left to go in the first half of play, and that's where we stand here at the break with PLU on top by a score of 21-0. We'll continue with more here at the half in just a moment as we continue with this PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
Mark Meininger, the general manager of Pioneer Sports. Every year we host the PLU football kickoff barbecue, and it's become quite an event. This year we turned to Three Chicks Catering to feed the players, the coaches, and their families. 350 people in all. From the barbecued pork ribs to the baked potato salad, it was delicious. And working with the staff at Three Chicks Catering was a real pleasure too. So, if you're planning an event, look them up at threechickscatering.com. From black tie to box lunches, they make fun of your parties.
A ball team can't win a championship with just one superstar. It takes teamwork to win the title. At BMW Northwest, they give you the total package. Their sales team works to put you in the best new or used vehicle at the right price. And the extra effort from the service department will make you feel like a superstar. Visit BMW Northwest today at 4011 20th Street East in Fife. Or see them online at bmwnorthwest.com. BMW Northwest. Experience the best at BMW Northwest.
Why are more Lutes fans gathering at Neo Wood-Fired Pizza? It's simple. Great food and good times. We feature something for everyone. Fantastic appetizers, soups, salads, pasta, calzones, and of course, great pizza. Honoring the traditional Neapolitan approach to making pizza, our dough is made fresh daily, topped with exclusive sauces and delicious world flavors, then wood-fired to perfection. See our menu online at neowoodfiredpizza.com or stop on by. We're open daily on Hosmer Street, right here in Tacoma. See you tonight.
The Old Spaghetti Factory welcomes fans of PLU. Whether it's a pregame meal or a celebration afterwards, we have the perfect setting and affordable prices for your group. Since 1969, we have served our famous complete meals that always include super salad, fresh bread, entree, beverage, and ice cream for dessert. Banquet rooms and catering are available for your special events. Join us in Tacoma at 1735 Jefferson Avenue. Call 253-383-2214 and find us online at osf.com. The Old Spaghetti Factory.
Come back at halftime at Sparks Stadium. PLU leads it by a score of 21-0. Our VIP halftime interview brought to you today by Multicare Sports Medicine. Multicare, better connected. And Carl, you've got a special guest for us.
Yeah, we really do have a special guest, Steve. We've got one of the all-time greats that we get the chance to talk to this afternoon, and he flew in from Utah to be here. Mark Clinton, who is in the PLU Football Hall of Fame, and he was one of the few guys. I don't know how many football golf combinations there have been, but you're listed as both in the Hall of Fame plaque out there. And first of all, it's just great to see you, Mark. And maybe you can talk about the fact that you were both an excellent football player and golfer as your time in the early 70s at PLU.
Well, it's a lot of fun to be here. I haven't been to a PLU football game in I don't know how many years, but I'll tell you what, this is fun. Brings back a lot of great memories. Saw a lot of people that I haven't seen for a long time, and the funny thing is the older I get, the larger the exaggerations become. I did play a little bit of golf and a little bit of football, but the only reason why I played golf is so I wouldn't have to lift weights in the spring.
And you said this to me back in the 90s, and maybe you were just pulling my leg, but you were telling some people that you've won long drive golfing competitions in 4 different states. Is that a true statement?
It is true. It may be a slight exaggeration. They had a thing called the Long Hitters Association that I think Tom Toole set up many, many years ago. And I had a tendency to, if I didn't fall down, I didn't swing hard enough, style of golf. And I did get into quite a few competitions, and I did have a few victories on the long drive.
I was going to say, was Tom Toole, am I thinking of the same guy? Is that the Golfing Gorilla?
That is the Golfing Gorilla.
Okay.
I grew up with him and spent many years at Furcrest Golf Club playing golf with him, and he's the one that kind of taught me how to swing a little extra hard to get a little extra distance.
Now, Mark, you were just talking to me about this before we came on the air. You kind of are in a unique situation where your freshman year was the 71 season, so the fall of 71, which was the last season before Frosty came here. It was Roy Carlson's last year. And then you played for 3 years with Frosty, and actually you were on the hiring committee to bring Frosty here. Could you talk a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, it was kind of funny because Roy Carlson, who later became our golf coach, resigned, and then we started looking for a new coach, and they wanted to take one player from each class, and I was a freshman, and because I'd played a little bit as a freshman, they thought that I would have, from a player's perspective, a pretty good idea of what we needed as a coach, and I'll tell you what, when Frosty came on, I have never seen anything like it in my life. Shaking hands, talking to everybody, and just Mr. Positive, and it was a pretty easy decision.
And now you're an administrator in Utah. Do you find yourself using some of the things that you learned from Frosty back in the 70s with what you're doing today in Utah?
Absolutely. As Frosty reminded me many years ago, he said that even a mosquito does not get a pat on the back until he goes to work. And I use that with my students all the time, and half of them get it, and the other half. One biology kid came up to me and said, only female mosquitoes are the ones that bite and draw blood, and I said, yeah, I should change that to she works.
So I know that football's changed a little throughout the decades. Do you see some things, some similarities today? You haven't seen a PLU game in a while as you remember back in the early 70s?
You know, the interesting thing is very little has changed over the years in terms of how the sideline works. There's not a negative word coming from anybody. It's all encouragement, and it is so much fun to watch. And so from that perspective, it's nothing's changed. But being a receiver, I didn't think we threw the ball enough back in those days like they do now. But I got plenty of action, and I have no complaints. More wide open spread formations, being able to run some interesting kinds of option plays out of that spread formation. I still hear a few of the old line calls that we used to use when Frosty was around. But the other thing that's so cool is that I've been on a lot of sidelines at a lot of big football games, and I've never had the head football coach come up to me, hug me, and give me a handshake on 4th and 1. There's only a few seconds left in the half, and Scott Westring comes up to me, and I'm saying, Wait a minute, we got a game. TJ, how you doing, folks? Man, I'm doing fine.
I tell you what, Mark, as a receiver, I bet sometimes you kind of wish you were out there these days as opposed to the early 70s when it was kind of more of a grinded out game. But boy, the wide open attack and the guys going in all different directions, and wide receivers have a heyday out there. Part of it is just having fun, and that's always been a part of the PLU program. It's even more fun for those guys, the wide receivers these days.
Oh, yeah. The one thing that was kind of cool, though, is that Frosty came in here and really established that multiple split wing T, and we ran the football like you can't believe. And so guess what? Everybody's up tackling the guy that doesn't have the ball, and I'm just kind of dancing through the secondary saying, throw it to me, I'm wide open. And next thing I know, Rick Pinsett sends one in my direction, and every once in a while I'd catch one.
Well, Mark, it's a pleasure having you here. We really appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoy your time getting acquainted with the program again.
It's my honor, my pleasure. I had a good time talking to Frosty before the game with Donna and even Paul Joseph, Carl's dad, and really enjoyed it. And I'll tell you what, this is going to cause me to want to come back to a lot more games.
Yeah.
If you're not here, you're missing some good stuff.
We appreciate it, Mark. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Mark Clinton, Hall of Famer in the PLU football program in the early 70s. And we'll continue with more. The Lutes lead it at the break, 21-0. We'll have more on this PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
Habitat for Humanity builds houses and so much more. A Habitat build site is where hanging a door opens a world of opportunity, where turning a screw turns the page, and where a simple key can unlock a brighter future. You see, Habitat for Humanity builds houses and so much more. What will you build? Visit habitat.org to learn more.
Pioneer Radio and Sports would like to thank the following businesses who are committed to customer service. Today's Lutz broadcast is brought to you in part by the Lakewood Grocery Outlet, your bargain market, and by Todd's Nursery and Landscaping, with over 6.5 acres of beautiful specimen trees and shrubs.
Hi, this is Bob Robertson. Would you like to join the Tacoma Athletic Commission? For years, the TAC has promoted, supported, and recognized amateur athletics throughout Pierce County. We've generated over $5 million to assist local athletic programs and athletes, and we've been a leader at preserving the history of local sports. If you're interested in joining TAC or helping with any of our various activities, you can find us at TacomaAthletic.com. That's TacomaAthletic.com.
The Rescue Mission, headquartered in Tacoma, is proud to bring help, hope, and healing to our local communities. Guided by their Christian heritage and belief in the human spirit, the Rescue Mission works with people at all stages of addiction, homelessness, or other life challenges, offering proven services, support, and facilities. Originally founded in 1912 to serve homeless men in Tacoma, they've grown to serve women and children in all parts of Pierce County. Find out how you can help at rescue-mission.org.
And our thanks once again to Mark Clinton, our VIP interview. Once again brought to you by Multicare Sports Medicine. Multicare, better connected. Carl, let's take a look at some stats.
All right, the first half, actually first downs relatively close. Hamline 6 to PLU's 8 first downs. On the ground, PLU outgaining Hamline rushing-wise. The Lutes with 72 yards, Hamline 63 yards on the ground through the air. Lutes a big advantage, 112 yards passing to Hamline's 8. And total yards, the Lutes 184 yards, Hamline 71 yards. One thing I didn't think was going to happen, time of possession, PLU leads time of possession, 15.5 minutes to Hamline's about 14.5 minutes. Lute defense did a great job, 1 of 7, stuffing them on third down, and only 3 fourth down conversions. None of them got through by Hamline individually. Brandon James led the Lutes with 61 yards. Through the air, Zach Halverson was 10 of 15 with 2 touchdowns. Alec McDermott had 3 catches for 29 yards. Defensively for the Lutes, Adam Schwander had 4 tackles, 1 sack, 2 for a loss. And T.J. Suk also had 4 tackles. Michael Tuiasosopo, 3 tackles. And the Lutes lead it at halftime 21-0.
And we'll be back with the second half in just a moment as we continue with this PLU football broadcast presented by Pioneer Sports.
It's fast, fresh, and affordable? Then come to Little Bird Deli. For over 15 years, we've been making delicious homemade soups, salads, and sandwiches. See our menu at littlebirddeli.com. Remember, we deliver.
Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. That's how they began at the rescue mission nearly 100 years ago. Today, they're proud to serve more than 1,800 nutritious meals monthly to our neighbors who would otherwise go hungry. They provide shelter to more than 450 people every night, and many are children. They also offer skills training, drug and alcohol rehab, tutoring, and more. They're people who care, providing help for all, and they're making a difference. Join them at rescue-mission.org.
1 in 4,000 children in the United States are born with cystic fibrosis. There is no known cure. In 1962, the median predicted survival age was just 10 years old. Today, through improved care and medical advances, the median age for survival is 37. We're continuing to make great strides towards a cure. You can help by joining tens of thousands of co-workers, friends, and family at cff.org and click on Great Strides. Or to see a local child inspiring others to get involved, visit teambensbuddies.org. As a gamer, you want the most up-to-date information on all the latest games. That's exactly what you'll get at Play and Trade. Play and Trade customers can try any video game before they buy, participate in local and national tournaments, have their consoles and games repaired, as well as buy, sell, and trade video games. Find out more at playandtrade.com or visit our 2 local locations on 38th next to Big 5 in Tacoma and on Northeast 124th in Kirkland across from Olive Garden. Play and Trade. We're not just playing games.
And so on a very warm Saturday afternoon, just about set to go in the second half in just a moment with the Lutes on top by a score of 21-0. And as Carl mentioned, a very solid first half for Zach Alverson, 10 of 15, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the Lute defense also playing very well, holding Hamline to only 71 yards in 34 offensive plays. So just over 2 yards per play in that first half.
And the first downs is maybe a little deceiving because the one drive they kept getting first downs on penalties, and, you know, that ends up going into the stat book. Another thing that I think is a big deal is that Zach Halverson has 15 attempts, and he has not been sacked yet. And Hamline is really, they have tried to blitz. So great job by this Lute offensive line, which actually is about as big an offensive line as I can remember, Steve. I don't know the last time there's been a 320-pound guard, but they've done a great job of protecting him, and Kyle Hoffman is that 320 guard.
Tim Quack and Zach Deichman back there. Quack takes it at about the 18-yard line, angles left to the 30, got an avenue up the sideline, 35-40, and cut down as he crosses the 40 at the 42-yard line. So the one thing that Hamline has been able to do today is return the footballs. Quack's had a couple of good returns, and that is another as he gets to the 43-yard line where the Pipers will start as they begin with their first possession of the second half.
Yeah, really a very dominating defensive performance. And you think of 8 yards through the air and then just keeping them to 63 yards rushing, too. I mean, you expect a team that's just that heavily into the ground game to maybe not have a lot of passing yards, but 8 is pretty incredible.
So Adam Meyer, again at quarterback. He replaced Satry in the first quarter after Satry was injured. Here's the give to Cook up inside, and he is just snuffed. Michael Tuiasosopo was going to have none of it. Brings him down right at the 42-yard line, so no gain on the play.
Great to see Michael Tuiasosopo. He had a little bit of a sprained knee early in this preseason, and he did not play in last week's scrimmage, and there he is today. He's got a knee brace. There was a great article about him in the Tacoma News-Tribune and how he lost his dad last year and actually left the team for a while to be with his family, and is back and is doing a great job up front.
Cook in the backfield along with Quack behind Meyer. Boots pinching in there. They run the option, and it's Meyer trying to squirt forward off left end. He'll get a couple up to the 44. Sam Lavin was there along with Dewey Ossosopo once again. Lavis, the sophomore from Spokane, 6 feet, 220.
And the assignment football is just everybody has to do their job, because you end up kind of getting a little bit deceived if you start following what the quarterback's doing and the other back. You've got certain assignments, and when you do that, you can do pretty well, and the Lutes have done great so far.
Running room to the right on 3rd down and 8. They get back the other way and getting the carry to the 45 to midfield and close to a first down is Zach Deichman, a freshman from Phoenix, Arizona. Now he got to the 49-yard line, down to the 48. They're going to say he did get enough, at least from our angle. Yep, 1st and 10. As he picks up about 9 on that carry.
I thought it was going to be slightly short. I thought he kind of hit his knee down before he started to reach towards that first down marker, and that was one of those cases, too, on the backside. Jordan Patterson, who's playing today, starting as an outside linebacker from Lakes and basically the biggest linebacker, he kind of had the backside contained, and you make the play, and all of a sudden everything, you get off the field. If you don't, you can maybe pick up a little extra yards.
Blake Locke was down to 3 by the time Meyer got him to the line of scrimmage, and he took the quick snap, and it's just covered immediately at midfield. A loss of a couple. Meyer back to the 50, so it'll be 2nd down and 12, and now we've got an official's timeout as one of the players kind of hobbling to the sidelines. I believe that was Cook.
And then on that play, Jordan Patterson came right through on the outside, and he did a great job dropping for a loss on the play. And good job, just kind of, sometimes it's not always the form tackles, grab a guy by the ankle and rip him down, and so it's 2nd and long.
Line side of the field to the right. A couple of wide receivers to that side for Meyer. Sends Queck in motion. They run the option. Meyer keeps and dives to the 48. Then a couple of yards back, and it was Jordan Patterson who made the play there, a sophomore from Lakes, who brings him down after a pickup of 2. So it'll be 3rd down and 10. 12 minutes to go here in this 3rd quarter. PLU leads it by a score of 21-0.
And one of the things we've sometimes seen in these early season games, too, where, if the weather's pretty hot, to see what the fatigue factor does to certain teams. Sometimes in the 4th quarter, they haven't been used to playing a full game, and it's nice and warm. We'll see how the guys do at the end of this game.
So 3rd and long, they go to the shotgun. 3 wide receivers right. Meyer drops back to pass. He's just going to throw it away on the near sideline. It's incomplete. As he was getting all kinds of heat that time, the Lutes were after him, and again, it appeared to be Patterson, who was one of those guys who was putting some heat on him in the pocket. And also there's Stephen McDonald for PLU. They are 2 of 10 now passing Hamline for only 8 yards on the afternoon.
The closest guy to him was Justin Whitman, the DB that I didn't see another Hamline receiver anywhere within 20 yards.
Taylor Angeline drops back there deep, awaiting Ferguson's punt. And angling for the far side, and that one's going to go out of bounds. And it'll go out at the 18-yard line where PLU will start it. Lutz first possession here of the second half.
So they came out at the beginning of the game throwing the ball to a lot of different guys, and then after that they kind of tried a few different runs. Sometimes in the first half you sort of throw some things out there and see what happens, and then you come up with a game plan in the second half. So we'll see what happens here in the 3rd quarter.
Carlson and Bowen to the left. McDermott to the right. Give to James right up the middle, and Brandon James, explosive burst right up the gut, gets to the 20 to the 25-yard line. Caught from behind by the ankle. And check that. That's not James. That's Tyler Bowen, I think, who was caught by the ankle as he tried to lay a block on somebody. James picks up about 7 on the carry.
Yeah, Bowen was just a little bit late getting up. It looked like he kind of went down awkwardly, but then he popped up and seemed to jog off the field pretty fine.
Well, Luke's shuttling some guys in there right now. Cody Porn back in there in the offset eye next to Halverson and James. They give to Porn off the right-hand side, and he dives across the 25 up to about the 28-yard line. Want to be close to a first down. Could be enough, I believe. It is to move the sticks, so 1st and 10 PLU. Cody Porn gets it to the 29-yard line.
You know, we were talking with Mark Clinton at halftime, and he actually was a coach on staff of the 79 football team that got all the way into the national playoffs, beat Cal Lutheran, and eventually lost to Finley. So he had helped coach with Frosty, and in various degrees has been back, but it's been a while since he's been in Utah.
Luke's wide side of the field left. Halverson runs the option left and pitches to James, who gets a block on the corner at the 30, dives on out to the 32-yard line. Randy James will pick up about 3 on that carry. Luke's working a little bit more methodically here to start this drive. 2nd down at 7, 9:45 to go in the quarter. PLU on top by 3 scores at 21-0.
And coming out with 4 straight runs and being able to get positive yardage on all of them.
2 and 2, 2 wide receivers to either side. Single step back James. Halverson looks it over against a 5-man front now. Got 8 in the box. Halverson down the middle. Got it complete. No, incomplete. Tyler Bone had it for just an instant but couldn't hang on as he was belted in the back, and the ball squirted loose. It'll be 3rd down for the Lutes.
So Hamline sent guys, and the ball was a little high. Tyler had to extend up high, and that, in some cases, it's tougher to bring the ball in when you're getting pressure from the back. So it looked like he had it in his hands, and then right when he ended up getting jarred in the back, it came loose. That was the same type of play that I believe it ended up going earlier. Maybe it was Tyler Christensen, or I can't remember, it was Andrew Carlson that wiggled his way up the field for a big gain after a blitz.
Halverson may be changing the play here on 3rd down. Zach, penalty marker down. Hits Christensen on a crossing pattern left to right, and he's well short of the first down. Tyler's caught from behind and dropped at about the 34-yard line. Let's see what the flag is all about here.
It looked like it was very close to whether it was a delay of game. It was right about 0 as it snapped. Oftentimes, if it's kind of a split second, they don't call it a delay. But if it is a delay of game, it's dead ball. Oh, offside.
Offside against Hamline, so 5 yards for the Lutes up to the 38, and then we'll bring up a 3rd down and about, let's call it 2. They put it at the 37, so 3rd and 2 coming up. Modern Woodman Representatives in Puyallup serves members, their families, and residents in and around the Pacific Northwest Washington area. A unique combination of business and volunteerism. The organization offers financial products along with fraternal members' benefits for their families and communities. Call Bill Pratt, managing partner, at 253-770-6019 to learn more. Here's the give to Cody Porn off the right-hand side, and Porn just keeps it powering forward, and I think he's got enough for the first down. We got a little bit of that Reggie Bush push, I think, there as well on the backside, but Cody Porn kept the feet moving, and he needed to push forward a couple of yards to get the first down, and generously got a little bit of help that did get to the 41-yard line, 1st and 10 PLU.
Well, those wrestlers really know how to use their leverage, and he did a great job keeping his legs moving, kind of like we mentioned earlier with Brandon James, where he hadn't had the first down on the initial contact but kept going. So great extra effort by probably a lot of people to get that first down.
Porn stays in there along with James in the backfield. They play fake. Halverson sets up the screen to Porn, and he's going to be dropped behind the line. Porn is ripped down at the 38-yard line. A loss of about 3 is coming up there to make the play. It was Elijah Juan Stifler, a young sophomore from Troutdale, Oregon, dropping Cody for a loss. So it'll be 2nd down and long with 7:50 to go in the quarter.
And right in front of the Luke bench, linebacker Nick Wyatt ends up kind of being a little physical after the whistle, and everyone's kind of asking for it. Hey, you called 2 personal fouls earlier. Let's just kind of be consistent if that's what you're going to do on the little pushes after the whistle.
Running room to the right. Lutz have two wide receivers left now, and looking left is Halverson. Now hits Christensen down the middle, and Tyler's wrestled down, bulldogged at the 41-yard line. So he'll get the 3 yards back on the pass reception, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 10 now for PLU.
Scott, I think, was talking with Zach Halverson on in between plays there, and maybe a little irritated in terms of his reads with progression where he was going. You know, oftentimes if you're running a double drag, you're going to look downfield first, and if that's not there, then you come to the underneath guy, and maybe felt like he was going to his check down a little too soon.
McDormand to the left, Bowen, and McNeil now to the right. Halverson, quick drop down the middle, goes to James, who had his head taken off as the ball goes through his fingertips at the 48-yard line. Brandon couldn't hang on, and he really got drilled just as the ball got there.
And he pops right back up, and that, you know, there was a lot of Hamline people pretty excited about that. And the thing is that, you know, I think that that's just a good physical football play. We saw last year Sean McFadden end up getting penalized twice for hits very similar to that, where the helmet was high up on the chest.
Connor leaned to punt, and again, a nice high spiral. Comes down to Queck at his own 20, and he's not going to go anyplace as the Lutz down him immediately at about the 22 or 23-yard line. So again, Connor leaned with a 41-yard kick and a 4-yard return. So Hamline will have the ball. That's spotted actually closer to the 24-yard line. And they get started still with less than 100 yards of total offense on the day for the Pipers. And they get a new quarterback in there as well. Checking in there now is Zach Barligan. And he hands off the left-hand side, getting to about the 29-yard line to pick up a 5. Ball came loose. Lutz said they came up with it, but the officials say, no, I don't believe so. So it is Zach Brodigan who is in there at quarterback now. He's a freshman from Dubuque, Iowa, 6'3" and 200 pounds. Brodigan giving back the other direction, a little counter play, and making the play on the corner is Taylor Angevine. As he brings down the runner on the play is Zach Deichman, who got maybe a yard just across the 38-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and about 4 for the Pipers.
So maybe the coaching staff, John Pate over there at Hamline, thinking the same thing you did, where they haven't even gotten to the 100-yard mark, that let's try someone else. And he's a freshman. We'll see what he can do running the offense.
Brock Schwanke, the wide receiver to the near side. Arthur Moore to the far side. Here's Brodigram, and he's caught from behind but manages to dive forward and may have enough for the first down as he kept the football, and he got hit pretty hard and a little slow to get up as his helmet came off. And he did get enough for the first down. Myers, not Meyer. Actually, it's Sathree who's going to come back in there. So now we're going back. We had Sathree to start the game, then Meyer, then Brodigram.
And both of them got their helmets knocked off.
And it's Sathree who's back in there now, 1st and 10 at the 35. Sathree lost the football. They got to say they have it this time, and I believe they do. It looks like it's Adam Schwander who's on the football, and he is. He's got it. Let's recover it at the 35-yard line.
Well, I don't know if he was coming out automatically. I think it ended up that Brodigan was coming out because he got his bell rung a little bit. But he came out, and then right off the bat, Sathree comes back in, and you see this so often. The first time that a new quarterback comes in, that there's a center exchange problem, that there's a fumble early on because it's a different kind of feel, and he's putting his hand a little different place, and the center might be expecting something a little different. But so the Lutz got to capitalize here and really kind of put things, maybe put the nail in the coffin in the third quarter.
Schwander, who was the second leading tackler a year ago, comes up with that one. Here's Halverson, fired a bomb up the left-hand side, incomplete. Down near the goal line there. Intended for the Lutz, McDermott. And Alex McDermott kind of wrestling out there with the defender down at about the 2-yard line. Couldn't quite come up with the football. It goes incomplete, second down for the PLU from the 35.
So kind of like the quick strike idea that we talked about after the interception before, Scott trying to go to the end zone. The play fake went one way. It was really good coverage. It was kind of a poorly thrown ball, but the way that it worked out, it almost gave McDermott the best chance to go out and get it, and he almost came down with that.
Logatala back in there along with James in the backfield now on second down for PLU. They run the option right. Keeping the ball this time is Zach Halverson, and Zach gets down to the 34-yard line before he's ripped down on the play. Josh Bain, the linebacker, senior from Grand Meadow, Minnesota, made the tackle for the Pipers. Simply third down and 9 now as Buddy McNeil comes out. Logatala comes out. Tyler Bone back in there as one of the wide receivers for the Lutz on this third down play. PLU leads it 21-0. 4 minutes to go in this third quarter. Wide side of the field left. And wide to that side of the field go Andrew Carlson and Tyler Bowen. Tyler Christensen and McDermott to the right. Now we've got a PLU timeout. So we'll take a break right here. We'll continue in just a moment with more of this PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
Let's stop by B&I Coin Shop. They buy and sell coins, silver, jewelry, currency, diamonds, sterling flatware, and more. Stop by B&I Coin Shop at 80th and South Tacoma Way or call 253-584-5875.
Hey, sports fans, let's talk trash. Let me tell you, your friends at Murray's DM Disposal and DM Recycling have been serving Pierce County for over 40 years. Did you know you can save money by increasing the amount you recycle? Give them a call. Murray's provides a full line of residential, commercial, and construction on-site solid waste and recycling services.
Your friends at Murray's DM Disposal and DM Recycling are proud sponsors of Northwest Conference Athletics.
A sports fan's paradise is PLU Sports. A gardener's paradise is Todd's Nursery and Landscaping. We feature over 6.5 acres of beautiful specimen trees and shrubs. See us at toddsnursery.com or visit us in the valley between South Hill and Bonnie Lake.
So PLU faced with a third down and 9 as we come back. Riding room to the left, 2 and 2, 2 wide receivers to either side. James alongside Halverson in the shotgun. Bowen goes in motion right to left through the formation, so Tripp set to the left now. And firing down the middle, caught by Christensen at the 20. Tyler finally taken down at the 11-yard line. Tyler Christensen on the reception, 24 yards and a PLU first down at the Hamline 11.
Well, Tyler Christensen has done a good job of making a few physical catches where he's done it in traffic. He's caught the ball and he's kept himself going down the field, and from sky view. And so they do a little throwing in sky view.
Tyler unofficially that's his second grab of the day, but better than 50 yards in total receptions on the afternoon. Tripp sent to the right. Halverson in the gun. Play fakes to Carlson. Down the middle, fires it incomplete. Play fakes actually to James and tried to fire to Andrew Carlson down the middle. And the ball was tipped away at the last moment. Nice defensive play by the Pipers. John Michael Vandenberg, big defensive back at 6'3" and 200. He's their free safety. Sophomore from Bothell, as a matter of fact. He do have some Northwest connections on this Hamline team.
It's kind of interesting. A couple of times when the Lutz have played a Midwest type team, that there seems like there is a handful of guys from this part of the state or this part of the country.
Vandenberg from Bishop Blanchette High School. Locatala and James, the split backs. They turn and pitch to James off the right side. Got a convoy in front, but gets cut down as he gets inside the 10-yard line. Brandon gets just about 3 on the carry. They're down to the 3-minute mark left to go in this third period with PLU in front. Comfortably at this point, 21-0.
And I think the coaching staff on the sideline there, James had 2 lead blockers, and he kind of cut up in front of him. If he fakes like he's going to dip inside and then goes outside, he probably, gets the first down and maybe touchdown.
Nico Madison is checked in there now as a wide receiver / rolling back for PLU. He goes in motion. Halverson play fakes to him, looks to throw, and he's going to be smothered back at the 25-yard line. That's one of the few times today the defensive pressure from up front is right in the face of Zach Halverson. He's dropped at the 21-yard line is where they say his progress was stopped. And it'll be 4th down from there. 4th down and about 19 yards to go for the Lutes. As Halverson looks to the sidelines, and looks like the Lutes may try a field goal opportunity here from Nick Kaler, who did not try a field goal last year. It was Richard Isaac. He will try one here as the play clock is down to 5. Bowen to hold, and now what do we got? We've got a PLU timeout. Let's take a quick break with 1:49 to go in the quarter. We'll return in just a moment with more PLU football from Pioneer Sports.
Around here, folks take pride in their outdoor and sprinkler installation and more. Superior Rock Wall and Landscape in your yellow pages.
KLAY, Lakewood, Tacoma. For over 20 years, Network Engineering and Support Group has been pushing the standards of IT technology. With NESG's philosophy about system, network, and website design, you'll get technology solutions that are custom built to your needs. Find out more at nesghelp.com.
Stay tuned to KLAY after the postgame for PLU for Don Cathy Live.
The following sponsors would like to salute and thank all of the men and women serving our country at home and abroad to protect our freedoms. Parker Kimball Casework Incorporated. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. Neo Wood-Fired Pizza. Traditional Neapolitan approach with delicious world flavors. Paradise Bowl. Home of the Lutes Party Night every Thursday. Play and Trade. We're not just playing games. And Performance Work Rehabilitation. Trust our experience.
So here's the field opportunity. It'll be a 37-yarder, slight angle to the left. Bowen to hold it. Kaler to try it. Placed down. Good snap. Good spot. Plenty long on the kick. And it is good. Nick Kaler's first field goal is a Loot. The sophomore out of Bothell hits it. He was 9 of 13 on point after tries a year ago, but didn't have a field goal opportunity. He does hit this one, and the Lutes go out to a 24-0 lead.
It was kind of one of those situations where it's about 4th and 20, and I'm not sure if some of the stats geeks, and they can kind of punch things into computers and come out with the percentage, but that's got to be a real low percentage of converting on those 4th and 20s, and so the last second kind of Scott decided, well, let's just go for the field goal. So it was about 19 seconds on the play clock. And by the time they got out there, they weren't going to have enough time to actually kick it. So he called a timeout and gave him a little bit extra time and didn't get the 5-yard delay. And that was a good decision because it gave the Lutes another 3 points.
Well, Kaler gets on the board for the first time today, with the exception of PATs anyway. And a nice 37-yard field goal puts the Lutes up 24-0 here late in this third quarter. Kaler will kick off. And really where Hamline has had most of their success today has been on kick returns. Here's Kaler. Hits this one pretty good, end over end. It'll come down to Queck at his own 8-yard line. Up the middle to the 15-20. And again, he's got an avenue. Breaks the tackle 30 to the sideline 35. And Queck struggles forward and gets to the 40-yard line. Again, a nice return.
Yeah, they seem like they're doing a good job, the Pipers, of setting up a return where there's an avenue in the middle. And we've seen Queck a couple of times be pretty shifty when he's had the ball in his hands and be able to shed some tacklers. So he's pretty good when he has the chance in open space. The Lutz just need to kind of come down hard, converge on the football, and make the initial tackle.
It has been a running game almost exclusively today for Hamline. And running the ball here is Satry, and he's going to get a yard, and that's it. Just hammered down. Stephen McDonald, Adam Schwander, both in on that tackle along with Eric Magnuson. They've tried 10 passes today, but completed just 2 for 8 yards. So the Lutz corners and safeties really haven't been tested, but they've got a full workout trying to bring guys down with the running game for Hamline today. I don't think the Pipers are really built as a big come-from-behind type of team. Here's Satry to throw. It's passed out of the air and almost intercepted by McDonald. Nice play by Stephen McDonald and an interception earlier today. And a nice pass deflection right there.
Well, and the ball just shot off his arms, too. He came in hard, and I think he swung down almost like a volleyball blocker. The ball ricochets off his forearms and goes way out of bounds. I mean, that probably went a good 30 yards off his forearms. Probably going to have a mark there.
So it is 3rd down and 9 now for Hamline at the 41-yard line. Satry takes the snap, going to swing a pass out to the sidelines. Got it out there, complete, but brought down on the play after a pickup of only a couple after the reception is Deichmann. So that's a pickup of 2. It's 4th down and about 7.
Johnny Volland came up, a sophomore out of Thomas Jefferson, to make the stop at corner. We haven't seen him a ton, and he did a good job of getting him down immediately.
Waiting back there for PLU now will be Connor Cummings, a freshman, 160-pounder from Arlington High School. Ferguson to punt, stands back at his 30. A little bit of pressure on this time as he hits it away. Cummings backpedals inside his own 10, takes it, tries to elude one man, can't get by him, and drops at the 9-yard line is Connor Cummings. So the Lutz will be pinned back inside their own 10 to start this drive as we're down to just 1 second left to go in the third quarter.
Well, Cummings did a good job building the ball, and then he was going to try to reverse his field and see if he can get to the sideline. And, sometimes it's just nice to see if you can get up the field, especially when you're near that 10-yard line. It didn't cause the Lutz a lot of damage, but you'll see some people trying to make extra yards, and all of a sudden they get dropped way back for a loss.
Lutz have gone to a pretty steady diet of Brandon James, who is 12 carries for 74 yards now in the afternoon, and a touchdown. James gets the call here and pushes it forward out across the 10 to about the 13-yard line. A pickup of 4 more from Brandon James on the final play of the third quarter. After 3, the Lutz lead at 24-0. We're back with the fourth quarter in just a moment as we continue with our PLU football broadcast from Pioneer Sports.
Around here, folks take pride in their outdoor landscape. That's why more homeowners are teaming up with Superior Rock Wall and Landscape. They specialize in rockeries, patios, waterfalls, lighting, lawn and sprinkler installation, and more. Superior Rock Wall and Landscape, in your yellow pages.
The players on the field today didn't start their careers at the collegiate level. Thanks to their parents and coaches, they learned valuable skills through youth sports programs. The following sponsors encourage you to get your children involved in youth sports: Dandy RV Sales, Save More Mini Storage, and Superior Rock Wall and Landscape.
For over 20 years, Network Engineering and Support Group has been pushing the standards of IT technology. With NESG's philosophy about system, network, and website design, you'll get technology solutions that are custom built to your needs. Find out more at nesghelp.com.
Stay tuned on KLAY for Don and Kathy Live immediately following today's game.
We start the fourth quarter on a hot Saturday afternoon, and the Lutz were hot early on with 14 points in the first 5 minutes of this game and have been able to continue that momentum for the most part. as we wind down to the final 15 minutes of this one, with the Lutes on top by a score of 24-0. Two wide receivers to either side now for Zach Halverson. Rocky Rosser's checked in there as a running back. On second down from the 13, Halverson looks down the right side, throws just out of the reach of Tyler Bone at the near sidelines across the 30. He tried to make a dive for the football, couldn't come up with it. Coverage on the play that time by John Michael Vanderberg.
And that was a good read, and again, kind of a little slight soft roll to the right, and the Lutes end up flooding their routes to the right, kind of running what is sort of like flag routes. When you're rolling to the right, though, a lot of times the coaches used to say you got to get your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage so that you can throw an accurate football. And you'll see all these pro guys, they can throw from any position, and they don't have to have their feet set or anything like that. But it really does help you to throw an accurate ball and get your shoulders squared.
Cody Ford and Rocker are the setbacks, and Rosser out of the backfield, a little swing pass from Zach Halverson that time just off his fingertips. He tried to turn back toward the football, and it'll bring up a punting situation on 4th down and 7 for PLU. And Connor Lean, who's had an excellent day kicking the football, will come on. He's been averaging better than 41 yards on 4 punts so far this afternoon.
On that one, there's a chance there's just a little miscommunication with Halverson and Rocky Rosser. I think Zach thought that, the play, you can kind of cut yourself down the field a little bit. I'll throw it up and over, and Rosser was sort of running a flare towards the sideline, so they weren't necessarily on the same page.
Lean with a wobbly spiral, Queck with a fair catch at the PLU 48-yard line. So Hamline will have the football. And again, the Lutes defense has done an outstanding job today. 95 yards on 47 offensive plays for the Pipers.
And only 10 passing yards, and they came out that last series and wanted to throw the ball. They were trying to see if they could, move something down the field and get maybe score a little quicker.
Day 3 runs the option, pitches to the outside, and no gain on the play there as the Lutes again knifing in from the defensive line with Sam Lattis, and also there was Jordan Patterson. So 2nd down and 10.
Patterson up a little slow there, and then he's done a good job on those pitches and those things on the outside. He's made several tackles right around the line of scrimmage.
They turn and give it to Deichmann inside, and Deichmann's got a yard, and that's about it. Again, Lavis was there, and also in on the tackle for PLU. Coming up from the secondary to make a play is T.J. Sook. It's got both Thomas Haney and Michael Tuiasosopo in there now, kind of moving guys in and out on that defensive line to try and keep people fresh as well in the heat. Here's Safety to throw, fires, and it is almost intercepted. For a moment, like Adam Schwander got his hands on that little slant down the right seam, and it deflected off his hands, and another Lute, I think it was McFadden, almost came up with it, but that one nowhere near being completed.
Good pressure by the Lutes. Good job getting their hands up in the air. As you mentioned, I think it was deflected a couple of times, once by the Lutes and then maybe off of a Hamline receiver's hands and nearly intercepted, as you mentioned.
So it is 4th down and 8. The Pipers will go for it from the PLU 46-yard line. Day 3 up under center. Short drop, looks, fires down the middle. It is incomplete. Intended for the freshman Arthur Moore, and he had his clock cleaned. Boy, the ball got there, and he was just hit up high around the pads, and he took a huge tumble, and the ball squirted loose.
So we were talking earlier about how Brandon James got rocked pretty good by a Hamline guy, and that sort of, ignited their sideline, and that Sean McFadden had got called for a penalty a couple of times on that, And man, I don't think we haven't really seen that kind of a hit in maybe as many of the years as we've done it. And a lot of guys came up to him and hit him, and it kind of seemed like, Sean, you know, if you hit a guy that hard, your bell gets rung a little too. So they started easing off a little bit with hitting him on the helmet.
Well, if you're a freshman receiver, that's going to make you think twice about going down the middle again. Here's the give to Logatala with cutback action from left to right, and Logatala gets to the 48-yard line to pick up about 2 on the play. But you're right. When you're up in the air and somebody hits you up high, you got nowhere to prepare for that one. You're going to go flying.
And it really is nice, though, to see some of those guys in the secondary be really physical, to be physical tacklers, to be able to send a message, and like you mentioned, all of a sudden the game's into the fourth quarter, but yeah, it's probably going to be thinking a little bit if you're going to go across the middle now.
Logatala and James, the offset eye now. They give to Logatala, and pretty much the same play as before, cutting back a little counter action from left to right. And this time, Vaha doesn't have any room to run and loses about 3 back to the 44-yard line.
Now, Trevor Roberts last year was listed as offensive coordinator, and Scott Westring has essentially been calling plays since about 1983. But last year, they sort of switched it up a little bit and kind of, sometimes Trevor would call plays and more often the run plays, and sometimes, Scott would call the more of the pass plays. But, again, with Trevor not being here, Scott's called all the plays this year like he did every year before last.
3rd down and 12 for the Lynch. Halverson swings it out of the backfield to James, shakes the tackle, 50, 45, first down and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Brandon James made that one pretty much happen on his own as he was able to step out of a tackle about 10 yards in front of the first down sticks. And once he did that, he was able to sprint down the sidelines and get enough to move the chains all the way down to the 41-yard line.
A good, nice touch on the swing pass right over his shoulders. And as you mentioned, he kind of had a little dip inside to freeze the defender just enough as he could get to the outside. It wasn't much of a tackle, kind of had his hand there, and he was able to get away from him and had enough speed to pick up the first down.
McDormand splits to the left, everybody else in tight now. As James and Logatala are the setbacks behind Zach. Wide side of the field to the right. Setting a man in motion, they give to him. Nico Massey. Massey breaks the tackle, 35, 30, 25, and out of bounds. Nice counter action that time. A give on the sweep to the young freshman, Nico Madison, 185-pounder from Tahoma High School, Maple Valley.
They've been having him in there on the Georgetown, and for the most part, he's just been the decoy on the sweeps. They gave it to him early, and he kind of pulled the old switcheroo on us. They have him in there as number 24, but he's wearing 22 today, and a great run there for him, and was able to break a couple of tackles after a couple of good blocks.
Splits out as a wide receiver far to the left, Dallas Madison. They give to James up the middle, and Brandon trying to wrestle away from a defender, can't do so. And finally ripped down by the jersey at the 24, a loss of a couple on the play. 10:45 left to go in this one. The Lutes comfortably in front, 24-0. And again, an interesting game coming up next week on the road in Southern California, where I understand it was only 70 degrees today, so it'll be a whole lot cooler than it is here today.
Yeah, I think it's about as hot as in the whole country here. And
time for my third shirt change of the day here, I believe. Man, it's a little. It is a little toasty here today.
Now, how often is it hotter here than it is in Southern California?
Not often. But hopefully that'll hold for next Saturday when the Lutes take on Cal Lutheran. Play fake. Halverson back to throw, swings it out, and it is caught by Rosser down just outside. Check out it. Tyler Bowen with a reception just outside the 10-yard line. A diving grab by Bowen at the 12, and that'll be good for another first down. Great play fake by Zach Halverson as he had kind of that cross play fake where he faked to a couple of guys, and then he just took a quick step back in the pocket and let it fly for Bowen.
So that's one of those plays that Mark Clinton was talking about that's been in there since, Frosty started in the 70s. This trap pass bootleg where it's a cross-buck action play fake. And actually, Hamline covered it about as well as anyone has covered it early in the season, and it was a good job to get a completion there by Bowen and Christensen.
Carlson goes in motion. They give to James off the left-hand side, and Brandon Powers is way inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line for pickup of 3. Lutz hoping to cash in on this one and kind of put the finishing touches on what's been a pretty solid offensive performance. Not big yards today for the Lutz offense. They're right around, a little less than 300 yards on the day, but they've worked methodically and effectively for the most part, and I've been impressed by the job that Zach Halverson has done leading the offense.
And another huge thing, no turnovers. Yeah. They've been very efficient in terms of hanging on to the football and not really shooting themselves in the foot.
Couple of wide receivers to the near side. They good to James up inside, and this time blasting through from his defensive end position to make the play for Hamline is Nick Wyatt. Wyatt, senior from Jonesboro, Georgia, 270-pounder, making that tackle, so it's going to bring up third down and long, third and about 9 for the Lutz. Two wide receivers to either side. Bowen and Carlson to the far side. Christensen and McDormand to the near side. Rosser is the single setback for Halverson on this third down and 9 play. Lutz need to reach the 2-yard line. And running it is Halverson, and he's finally tackled at about the 5-yard line. Zach will come up about 2 or 3 yards short of the first down.
It looks like they're going to actually send the field goal unit on here and see if they can tack on 3 more points.
Well, Nick Kaler will come on for another opportunity here. Had a 37-yarder earlier. This time it'll be near the right hash, so again a slight angle to the left. It'll be about a 22-yarder from the 12-yard line with Bowen to hold it. Good snap, placed down, kick is plenty strong. And the kick is good. So Kaler boots that one right through, and he's 2 for 2 on the day. And the Lutz are out to a 27-0 lead, and we'll return with more as we have more PLU football to come from Pioneer Sports.
For over 20 years, Network Engineering and Support Group has been pushing the standards of IT technology. With NESG's philosophy about system, network, and website design, you'll get technology solutions that are custom built to your needs. Find out more at nesghelp.com. Your home is one of the largest investments you'll ever make. So when your roof needs repairs or improvements, don't trust your home to just anyone. Protect your investment with the company that PLU trusts. David's Roof Cleaning and Repair. David and his staff specialize in both residential and commercial roof cleaning and repair. So go with the pros that PLU chose. David's Roof Cleaning and Repair. They extend the service life of all types of roofs, and they're proud to help bring you Lutz football.
Enjoy the great outdoors this season with Dandy RV sales. Dandy features motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, and tent trailers, plus service and parts. View their lineup at 117th and Pacific Avenue next to PLU or at dandyrv.com.
Stay tuned to KLAY after the postgame for PLU for Don Cathy Live.
So the Lutz move from their own 46. The drive finally stalls inside the 10-yard line, and that leads to a Kaler 22-yard field goal. Check that 22-yard field goal. Here's the return for Hamline on the kickoff, and weaving his way through traffic and still on his feet at the 40-yard line. Finally going to be caught from behind and taken down at the 46-yard line for Hamline is Damon Woods, a freshman from Burnsville, Minnesota, and he ran about a mile and a half there to get back from inside his own 10 to the 46.
After running about 30 yards, it almost looked like a game of tag where he was just kind of juking a little bit, not really going too many different places, giving himself a chance to catch his breath. You don't see that very often when a guy's not just kind of running full speed up the field.
And it looks like that is Woods is the guy who remains on the field and getting some attention now from the training staff of the Pipers across the way. hoping that that's not a serious injury. Scores halftime. Linfield leading Cal Lutheran by a score of 10-7. That game down in McMinnville, Oregon, the home of Linfield. And halftime, Occidental leads Puget Sound 16-6. That's the opener for both those teams as well. Second quarter, Lewis and Clark leads Claremont Mud Scripps 28-7. And at halftime, it's Spokane Whitworth over Pomona Pitzer 20-0. So some other scores around the Northwest Conference. Here, the Lutes on top 27-0 with 7:06 left to play. And it is kind of strange the way things work. The most effective play today has been the kickoff return for Hamline. Other than that, still less than 100 yards of total offense. Here's Satry trying to escape pressure, winds up and fires down the middle, and it's going to be caught. That'll be a pickup of about 17 yards.
As they've moved in, a bunch of the All Blacks or second-team guys on defense for PLU on this drive end up having a lot of different guys up front.
Joseph Rea on the receiving end of that pass from Connor Satry, and Rea brings it down to the PLU 38-yard line. I think that might be their longest play from scrimmage today. Wide side to the right, stay free to throw. Looks back to his left toward the sidelines, and it's going to be incomplete. Double coverage out there on the part of the Lutes. As PLU moving some guys in and out of there defensively now. Johnny Bowen was back there on that play, along with Greg Hibbard, a freshman from Capitol High School in Olympia.
We heard that Greg Hibbard, as a true freshman, when they went down to breakaway, that he was about as athletic as anyone on the whole squad. So I think they're really excited about him as a freshman.
Second down and 10. Cook the fullback. Rolling right as Satry, getting some pressure, going to run the football himself, and he gets drilled as he gets to the 40-yard line. He'll lose about 2. Boy, and I tell you what, Satry got hammered earlier in the game, had to come out, and he took a licking right there as well.
And it was one of those where he's got people breathing down the back of his neck, and then a few people coming up pretty hard on one side. There's really not a whole lot of places to go, and sometimes you just kind of go down to your knees and see if you can get into the fetal position, and hopefully you don't get rocked from definitely inside and out, but maybe at least one of the guys doesn't hit you hard.
Ball at the right hash, third down and 12 now for the Pipers. Boots come with a blitz. They give up the middle and nothing doing. As the ball carriers wrestled down after he picks up just a couple of yards. Leaks defensively, again, getting a lot of their second-team guys in on the play now. As in on that tackle for PLU, Connor Gabbard, freshman from Spokane, and also Joel Teets, a freshman from Richland, also there. So fourth down and 11. Hamline will go for it. Nothing to lose here with 5 minutes to go in the game, and scoreless thus far. Satry, play fake, back to pass, looks down the middle and throws, and it's going to be caught down inside the 20-yard line. Nice reception made down there that time. And again, making the catch is Joseph Rea. Rea, the freshman from Arkansas, makes that grab. It'll be first and 10 Hamline at the PLU 18. They go back to the shotgun. Running room to the left. They give to Cook, fake to Cook, and they pitch out to Queck on the option, and Queck is submarine as he gets inside the 15 down to about the 13-yard line, a gain of 5 on the play.
Good job of coming up and putting pressure on the quarterback and making him safely pitch the ball. But just like we talked about with the assignment football, everybody's got to be, you got to have your pitch man guy ready to come up and make the tackle as well.
Boots pinching in there. They give to Cook, the big battering ram fullback, and he spins his way inside the 10 down to about the 8. I think that's going to be enough for the first down. He got about 5 on that carry. Maybe not. Third down and less than a yard, they say, just about the 9-yard line. Are you in the market for a quality new or pre-owned vehicle? Well, then check out Lakewood Ford. Lakewood Ford offers award-winning sales and service. Over 400 new and used cars and trucks in stock, and their service department is open Saturdays for your convenience. Here's Satry on third down. I don't think he got it. Stop by today, Lakewood Ford, easy to find on I-5 on Bridgeport Way in Lakewood. That's Lakewood Ford. Satry on the keeper, he faked and then spun around and took it inside himself, and it didn't get there. It'll be 4th and 1.
Kind of out of the shotgun, in that situation, a lot of times you're having the ball come back 4 yards before you can even get it up the field. You would assume that Hamline would feel comfortable in a 4th and 1 situation. Let's see what they do here.
Play clock is down to 6 as Satry brings them up. Up under center with 2, takes a quick snap, and breaks the tackle down inside the 5 as Satry down to about the 2. Second effort on the part of the quarterback there, and he got the first down. First and goal at about the 2-yard line for Hamline.
That was a good second effort on the quarterback sneak. Most of the time on a sneak, it's so bottled up in there that the quarterback kind of can lunge forward, get a couple of steps, and then that's about it. Very rarely do you see a guy break free from the pile in a quarterback sneak and have a chance to work his way up the field.
A good offset power eye now for Satry, and he turns and gives out the right-hand side and makes the tackle from the secondary for PLU is Johnny Volan. Back at about the 3-yard line, so a loss of about a yard on the play. 2 minutes to go in this one. PLU leads it 27-0. But Hamline threatening here, second down from the PLU 3. Peterson-Pierre in there is the tailback now. Satry runs the option, lost the ball. And big scramble for it back at about the 8-yard line. I think Satry got back on the ball, but loses about 5 yards in the process.
Sometimes you get down by the goal line, the defense basically runs something that we used to call sink, where you're just going to throw the kitchen sink at them. You're not always even that concerned about who you're covering. And when you get that aggressive, it's tough to run the football. And this defensive unit has done a great job on first and second down.
But it's third and goal from the 8-yard line now. Satry gives to Cook, the fullback. He got down to about the 6. That's it. Lutz shut it down. And it'll bring up a 4th down and goal from there now as the Pipers are going to take a timeout. Let's break away with 47 seconds to go in the game with the Lutz up 27-0. We'll continue in a moment with more PLU football from Pioneer Sports.
Thinking about having your home or office painted? Then call O.M. Michael Quality Painting. Michael takes special pride in serving Lutz fans. Whether it's residential or commercial, interior or exterior, you can rely on O.M. Michael Quality Painting, the finest finish in town.
Have an event coming up? A wedding, business meeting, holiday party, or other special occasion? Make fun of your parties by calling 3 Chicks Catering and Events. From black tie to casual box lunches and everything in between, we cater to your needs. Find out what people are saying and check out our menus at 3chickscatering.com. Or just ask the PLU football players and their families. We catered their annual barbecue last summer. 3 Chicks Catering and Events. A passion for food, a flair for fun.
When it comes to complete insurance protection, Reggie Johnson Insurance has you covered. Give Reggie a call at 253-752-1777 or email him at reggie@reggiejohnson.us. Reggie Johnson Insurance. Relax. Reggie has your back.
Stay tuned on KLAY for Don and Kathy Live immediately following today's game.
So we come down to the final 48 seconds here. The Lutz try to hang on and complete a shutout defensive performance as it's 4th down and 6 for Hamline. 4th down and goal from the 6. Satry up under center. Satry back to pass, looks in the end zone, incomplete. trying to go down the middle that time and underthrew his receiver. And that's quick. Couldn't hang on to it as he tried to scoop it up off his shoe tops, and the Lutes have held and will take the football.
Well, he was open, but there was pressure put on by the Lute front seven, and it really has to feel good for those young guys to be able to step up and to keep them out of the end zone and to preserve a shutout.
So the Lutes will take a couple of snaps and put this one in the books. And for PLU, it is Travis Ward in there at quarterback right now. Travis takes the snap, and the running back had already run by him as he took the high snap, so Ward will keep it himself and he'll sprint out to the near sidelines to get out beyond the 15 to about the 17-yard line. Ward, a sophomore from Mount Spokane High School in Spokane, scrambles forward for a first down as he picks up about 15 yards. And the clock down to 37 seconds left to play.
Like you said, a little bit of a broken play because the speed of the shotgun snap was a little slower than what the mesh point was going to be, but it ended up being a great play and a good run there by Travis Ward.
Ward sends him now. He's got Cody Bourne and Zach Baldwin behind him. It's Baldwin who gets the carry off left tackle, breaks the tackle, 20, 25-yard line. Baldwin gets to the 27, and he'll be near another first down. So a couple of youngsters there. Baldwin, a freshman from Centralia, 210-pounder. And he's just shy, I believe, of the first down. Picked up 9 on that carry, and that might well be the final play of the game.
And there's a lot of other freshmen, too. I know Trevor Roberts. They're really excited about the offensive line, too. A couple of big, real solid-looking offensive linemen.
That'll do it. The Lutes start 2011 with a shutout and a victory in their season opener. Final score this afternoon, PLU 27 and Hamline nothing. We're back to the postgame in just a moment as we continue with PLU football from Pioneer Sports.
I spent months looking for the right apartment. Then someone told me about Burnmar Apartments. They're just 3 blocks from campus, and they feature affordable, spacious rooms. See their ad on Craigslist or call Lou at 253-536-3676.
Part of today's exciting Lutz action is brought to you by the good service people at S&S Tire Service. They know it takes teamwork, extra effort, and professionalism to win at any sport. At S&S Tire Service, they take that same approach in providing the area with a quality selection of brand-name tires. You'll find their commitment to your complete satisfaction makes them the right choice for all your car and truck tire needs. With locations in Puyallup and Tacoma, stop by S&S Tire Service at 13201 Pacific Avenue or call 253-537-4220. S&S, where service makes the difference.
Have you found yourself in the doghouse because you're spending too much time glued to the radio following the Lutes? Well, let Blitz & Company Florist unlock the doghouse door. Go to blitzflorist.com or visit them on Pacific Avenue, 3 blocks north of Tacoma Sheraton.
There's a company in town that's closing the door on its competition. It's All Service Garage Doors. Locally owned since 1982, All Service specializes in complete garage door repair and service. They can fix everything from broken springs to damaged panels. So whether you have a garage door that's damaged, stuck, slow to open, or if you're ready for a new one, give them a call. All Service Garage Doors, offering excellence in garage door repairs, service, and installation.
The key to winning for the Lutes is teamwork. When it comes to personal injury representation, more people are teaming up with the law office of Terry E. Lumsden. Terry is a proud PLU alum. He's ready to take the confusion out of your personal injury case and explain your rights. Call today at 253-573-4424 or read their success stories at telumsden.com. That's the law office of Terry E. Lumsden, located on the corner of 6th and Union, your personal injury attorney.
And welcome back to Sparks Stadium. The Lutes winning by a final score of 27-0 this afternoon. Our post-game show brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Lutes a dominating performance, especially on the defensive end today, as they force a couple of turnovers and hold Hamline to really just a little bit over 100 yards in the afternoon. And PLU wins it 27-0. He made a couple of big plays early on. Got a touchdown toss, which we'll hear in just a matter of a couple of minutes from Zach Halverson on their first offensive possession, and then held Hamline on their first offensive drive on 4 downs, took over, and one play later, Brandon James made it 14-0 PLU. That was just 5 minutes into the contest, and that really set the tone for the rest of the afternoon as the Lutes were, from that point on, able to kind of grind it out offensively, work methodically, control the football, and do a great job defensively and pull away to this 27-0 win over Hamline this afternoon. We'll continue with more after this 2-minute timeout, as we'll have more on the postgame show, this PLU football podcast from Pioneer Sports.
So, you finally moved into your dream home. Just one problem. Your view is right into your neighbor's living room, and Rover down the street has his own decorating ideas for your lawn. Sounds like you need a fence. Mark's Custom Fences has over 20 years' experience specializing in all types of fencing. Plus, all fences come with a 3-year warranty. See Mark's work online at markscustomfences.com or call for a free estimate at 253-896-4499. Mark's Custom Fences. Highest quality, lowest prices.
Is proud to be your local family fun center. We feature 32 lanes and a full-service restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Join us Friday and Saturday nights at midnight for Rock and Bull with lights, music, and fun. And don't miss PLU Party Night. It's every Thursday, 9 p.m. until midnight for just $11 per person. Leagues are forming now for men, women, and kids, so stop by today. Paradise Bowl, located just a half-mile south of the PLU campus on Pacific Avenue. From everyone here at Paradise, we wish the Lutes a great season.
Sports fans, tonight's Northwest Conference game is being sponsored in part by your friends and neighbors at EJ Poultry. They provide your local grocer with the finest beef, pork, and poultry products available. Retailers trust their quality and love their service.
At EJ Poultry, we know there's a real advantage in buying fresh farm products. It's a difference you'll taste in our beef, pork, and poultry. EJ Poultry. When you buy locally, buy farm fresh.
If you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, then you know the importance of keeping your project costs down. Why buy a piece of specialized equipment for a one-time job when you can rent from Star Rentals? From backhoes and compressors to small tools and power equipment, you'll find everything you need. For rates, call 474-0577. That's 474-0577. Or log on to starrentals.com. Star Rentals in Tacoma, the preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Lutes won it by a final score of 27-0 this afternoon here at Sparks Stadium on a 90-degree afternoon as the 2011 season begins with a solid shutout victory. And really, as we mentioned, the tone for this one was set early on. And a couple of big plays. The Lutes took the opening drive, went 72 yards in 8 plays, capped by this. Cody Porin joins Brandon James in the backfield now as split backs behind Halverson. They send a man in motion, play fake. Halverson looks right, fires, touchdown! Caught by the tight end for PLU for the score. Making the grab on the play is Tim Orr, a freshman from Wasilla, Alaska, and a transfer from Bemidji State University. Tim Orr, 6'4", 230, hauls it in for the score. That covers 4 yards. So that gave the Lutes an early 6-0 lead after the point after was missed. But the Lutes capitalized as Hamline went 4 plays and out on their very first possession. PLU took over, and the Lutes were 1 play later able to score for the second time in the afternoon. The ball at the Hamline 20-yard line. Halverson in the shotgun. Gives right up the middle of James. Big hole, 20, cuts outside 15, 10, 5, he's in! Brandon James cuts it back 20 yards for score. Just a great job of blocking up front. They ended up pulling a couple of guards, and in some ways, like, the old student Bobby, when you just pitch the ball out, it was almost that action. And then Carlson did a great job of blocking in the end zone. There was a little misdirection, and James really didn't even get touched all the way in. And that made it 14-0, and the Lutes go on to a 27-20 victory here this afternoon and begin in a big way this 2011 football season. as they go on to get the win. We've got a couple of special guests, and Carl, let's talk to these guys.
Well, we've got Brandon James and Stephen McDonald with us, and great job to both of you guys. But let's just maybe we can start with the offense there, because Brandon, I think that coming in, even Scott was saying, that there's a chance with so many new guys that the defense might have to kind of keep things together as the offense gets clicking. But you guys came right out of the chute, got the ball right down the field, scored, got the ball back, and then you scored again before nothing. It was 14-0. Was that something that was somewhat surprising to you as an offense, or were you expecting that kind of thing right off the bat?
Well, we always like to score right away. That makes the game a little easier, but we knew coming in that we'd have to have success early, and we had to go out guns blazing, and we did. Things worked for us and kept it rolling throughout the game.
Sometimes, you spend a lot of time looking at film and having an idea of what the defense is going to do with a whole new coaching staff and maybe not even having any idea what the defense was going to kind of be in front of you. How did you prepare for this first game?
Well, that was definitely tough, not knowing what they're going to do. We know what they did last year, and we have a great defense to practice against every week. Those guys are awesome, obviously, having a shutout today. And we did a lot of different things to practice against everything, so hopefully we were prepared, and we handled it pretty well.
Brandon, for you coming into this season, obviously Alec had a great 2010, and once you get a hot running back, you have a tendency to kind of stay with them, as the Lutes did in 2010. But coming into this year, I'm sure you knew the emphasis was going to be a little bit more on you offensively running the football. What's it been like for you as far as preparation and just getting ready to take on that role?
Well, it's definitely just a different year. We have a lot of new guys stepping in, but everyone's stepping in great. It's the same offense. We're running a lot of the same stuff. He's playing great. A lot of new guys there, too, but just kind of just letting it roll.
And you mentioned the line. I don't think that we've seen the size of offensive line at PLU as what you had to run behind today. And even two guys, 300 pounds, a guard at 320. So has that been a different kind of fun with the size of your own line?
It's definitely nice. Last year we had a lot of holes and stuff, too, because we had a very experienced line. This year we got a lot of new guys. But the size definitely helps. They're blocking great. A lot of the guys just got here 3 weeks ago and just learning the offense. And it's hats off to those guys for getting it in 3 weeks. It's amazing to me, and they're doing really well.
You guys look like you held up pretty well under the heat today. It's not often. Of course, all the last few days, I imagine you're used to working out in it at least, but 90 degrees around here, it can end up being a little bit of a draining day. But you hydrate a little bit more before you get started today?
Yeah, definitely. Coaches were stressing, hydrating, Pedialyte, all that fun stuff. Lecture conditioning and stuff this week on our own, so...
Now, what about the number change? Because we were used to seeing you at 44, and now all of a sudden it's 4, and Magnuson's wearing 40. Did he pressure you into taking that number, or what happened with that?
Well, Drew was 4 last year, and I was always 4 in high school, so I said once he left, I was going to get 4. And Mag said he'd be faster than 44, so he switched to 44.
There you go.
That's how that worked.
Well, Steven, we got to talk to you, too. And, boy, the defense had an outstanding day, and you had some big plays. You got a lot of help, obviously. But anytime you post a shutout, that's a great way to start a season.
You say that I had a lot of big plays, but I really don't remember any of them. I remember celebrating all the big plays that were made by my teammates. We just came out not exactly knowing what they were going to run, but we had an idea, and we decided that if we prepared for an option team, triple option team, if they came out in the spread, we'd be okay. But if we prepared for a spread and they came out in an option, we'd have trouble. And hats off to our bomber, our practice squad offense, because I really feel like the practice squad offense was running the triple option faster than it was here today. So they made the transition for us extremely easy.
And it's really tough when you face an option team, too, because the key is really the linebackers, too, for the most part. The big guys are up front are obviously kind of hoping to stalemate people a little bit and then leave it for the linebackers to clean up and make the tackle on guys. And, everybody seemed to do their job very well today.
Yeah, the whole goal of an option team is everybody has a responsibility. They have a gap in a person. And you just have to do that every time, regardless of what you think they might run, regardless of what they ran before. So whenever they run an option on the opposite side, you're on, if they run option to the right and you're on the left side, you kind of just don't have a lot to do when you want to get in. But the next time that you do go out of your way, they're coming in and counter back at you, and you just lost it. So just discipline and trusting your buddies is really what defending option is all about.
It's got to be a lot of fun when you're playing backer in this type, in the 3-4. The backers really get to wreak some havoc out there.
Yeah, for outside backers, the majority of the game we got to go down and smash heads with those big linemen, and being so undersized, but sticking it to them. There's not a better feeling than that as a linebacker.
So to start the game, they come out, no huddle, and it was a very quick no huddle. It's not like they were kind of reading, and I'm assuming that they thought they could catch you off guard, and they were going to go for it, I guess, on fourth down, no matter what, no matter where they were. And in some ways, it couldn't have worked out any better for you guys how it all happened. So were you prepared for that, or like you said, you prepared for everything? I mean, how did that happen that first series on the defensive side?
Craig has the pace of our defensive practices really, really fast. We actually have 2 full offenses running at us, and they don't wait for us to get set. So as soon as the play is over, the second offense comes out and goes. And you might be 40 yards down the field having just chased the ball, but now you got to run back and get ready for the next play. And it's really chaotic, and it's really just stressful and whatnot. But then when you come out to a game, if they do that, you're ready. And if they come out and we actually get to huddle, we didn't huddle all week because we were just running that fast pace. We're getting out there ready to huddle. You just have so much more time, and it's a lot easier to handle that.
And that's a huge player. It kind of sets the tone, I think, for the entire game when the offense comes down and Brandon does a good job and Tim Orr catches the touchdown. And their first series to stop 4 and out, and then Brandon runs one in. That's 14. You're 5 minutes into the game. You're already up 2 scores. I mean, that's a huge lift for your team right there.
Yeah, it was mentioned earlier by you guys that there was talk about how the defense was going to have to maybe come out and kind of control the game because the offense might have had a hard time getting started, but that was never our thought on defense. We've been playing against these guys all preseason, and they've been really, really good looking. And even though they're young, they're getting it, and they were doing great, obviously, as you can see. So there was no doubt on defense. As soon as we came off the field, we're going to score, we're going to kick off, we're going to go back out there. And that's really just what we expect every time.
What's it like for both you guys who've been in the program now for a few years to see this huge freshman class coming behind you? I mean, there's some real talent there, but these are guys, obviously, as freshmen, they're getting their feet on the ground. But pretty exciting to see these young guys do what they might do in the future, and the fact that they're going to be pushing you as you kind of continue on.
Yeah, this is an extremely talented, very large, very fast class, and obviously there's a lot of them. It's really nice to see so many people wanting to come, so many good athletes wanting to come and be a part of the program. That's what's the most exciting to me, is that if we have 60 freshmen coming in, there were 60 people that wanted to be a part of the team. That's really the most exciting part to me.
Well, great way to start the season. Congratulations to both you guys, Stephen McDonald and Brandon James. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it. We'll continue with our post-game show in just a moment. The Lutes win it today, 27-0, and we'll have more on this PLU football podcast from Pioneer Sports.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Animaniacs, your source for anime, DVDs, manga, and all your favorite accessories and collectibles. Visit them at 14806 Pacific Avenue, next to Midas Muffler, and at Animaniacs.com.
Jen was the queen of her Zumba class, but after years of wear and tear on her hip joints, she could no longer dip and sway without serious pain. When even walking became difficult, she turned to Multicare. At Multicare, an expert team of orthopedic specialists linked by our electronic health record system works together to provide people like Jen with coordinated care from diagnosis to rehabilitation. Using a full range of the latest treatment techniques, from minimally invasive arthroscopic surgery to joint replacement, our skilled orthopedic surgeons help relieve pain, improve function, and make it easier to move freely. Today, with her new hips, Jen's regained a lot more than comfort and range of motion. She's gotten her groove back. To connect with orthopedic care at a South Sound location near you, visit multicare.org. Multicare. Better connected.
Locals love the beauty of the Northwest, the mountains, the trees, and especially the water. If you'd like to add a little Northwest beauty to your home, contact Cascade Reflections Custom Ponds and Waterfalls. We specialize in designing features that capture the heart of the Northwest. from waterfalls and streams to indoor bubblers, koi ponds, and even fly fishing ponds. Featuring design, installation, service, and supplies. Call 435-0106 or see our work online. Cascade-Reflections.com.
Are you looking to replace the windows in your home? Then look to Clear Choice Windows, your replacement window experts. They feature beautiful state-of-the-art windows designed to cut your energy costs while increasing the value of your home. Find out more at clearchoicewindowsllc.com.
And thanks once again to our postgame guests, Brandon James and Stephen McDonough. Our postgame interviews, by the way, brought to you by Paradise Bowl, featuring PLU Party Night, Thursdays 9 to midnight. As the postgame interviews brought to you today by Paradise Bowl. Well, Carl, let's take a look at some of the final stats of the afternoon.
Well, PLU ended up on top in most of the stats, of course, with a 27-0 victory. They led first downs. PLU had 15. Hamline had 11. On the ground, they also outgained the Pipers 126-97. Through the air, the Lutes had 163 yards passing, Hamline 47. So total offense, PLU 289 yards, Hamline 144. A couple other things. The Lutes actually led time of possession with a little bit over 30 minutes time of possession. Hamline had a little bit over 29 minutes. PLU was 6 of 13 on third down conversions, and Hamline was 3 of 15, so an excellent job there by the Lute defense. And also fourth downs, PLU never went for it on fourth down, of course having 2 field goals, and Hamline was 2 of 7 on fourth down tries. And so, again, a great job there by the Lute defense. And in the red zone, Hamline was 0 for 1 and PLU 5 for 5 when getting into the red zone. Individually, our postgame guest, Brandon James, had 16 carries for 77 yards on the ground with 1 touchdown. Nico Madison, his debut as a Lute, ended up with 2 carries for 19 yards. Travis Ward, 1 carry for 11, and Zach Baldwin, 1 carry for 9 yards on that last drive. Zach Halverson had a very efficient first game. He was 15 of 26 through the air with no interceptions, 163 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and he was only sacked once. Receiving corps, Tyler Christensen had 3 catches for 60 yards. Alex McDermott had 3 catches for 29. Brandon James, 2 for 31, and Tyler Bowen, 2 catches for 27 yards. For Hamline, Blake Cook led the team rushing-wise with 13 carries for 47 yards, and Tim Quick, 7 carries for 24 yards. Through the air, there were 3 quarterbacks that we saw for the Pipers. Connor Sathry was 3 of 9 throwing with 1 interception and 39 yards through the air. The Lutes got to him 1 time on a sack. Adam Meyer was 2 of 9 for 8 yards, and his long was 6 yards throwing. Only 1 receiver caught more than 1 pass, and that was Joseph Rea, 2 catches for 37 yards and 1 right at the very end of the game. Defensively for the Lutes, a lot of guys contributing. Jordan Patterson had 6 tackles, 2 for a loss. Adam Schwanger, 5 tackles, a sack, and 2 for a loss. T.J. Suk had 5 tackles, and Stephen McDonald, one of our post-game guests, had 4 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, with also a interception. And with all of that, that added up to the Lutes with a 27-0 victory.
So the Lutes get the win this afternoon. A solid victory, impressive performances, I think, for a lot of the guys, particularly, I think, for Zach Halverson stepping into that quarterbacking role and playing solidly, throwing the ball well, not having any turnovers. That's always a key, in particular, in trying to handle this offense, which is a big load unto itself. But he looked very good. And I think the defense obviously had a dominating type of performance until really the last drive of the game. They had Hamline under 100 yards on the afternoon, and the shutout. That's a great defensive performance.
Yeah, they did a great job. They got 2 turnovers. There was a fumble that they recovered, and there was also the interception. There was a couple other fumbles that they didn't get, and that was one thing that I didn't mention. The Lutes, no turnovers at all, and forcing 2 to get a +2, which is such a big deal in football. Oftentimes the team that ends up with in that category winning is generally the winner. And the defense did a great job up front. They really didn't get anything going on the ground, and then even less through the air. I mean, it took them a long time just to break that 100-yard mark for total offense. And a couple of big plays, there were some tipped passes. There was that incredibly physical hit by
Sean McFadden.
Yeah, Sean. All of a sudden he blanked out. It was like he hit me, and there's two quarterbacks that were really physically tackled that both came out of the football game, and it's just nice to see a defense just fly around and swarm to the football and play in the physical way that they did. And then on top of that, I think the special teams, you look at the punting, just an outstanding job of punting and 2 field goals. It's been a long time since we've seen a 2-for-2 field goal day from a Loot.
I can't think of that. I think we've been doing this 13 years, and I'm not sure that there has been a day where anybody's been two. We'd have to look back at that.
Even 2 attempts.
It's been a long, long time. Our post-game show brought to you today by Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. So looking ahead now, the last score we had was a halftime score down in Oregon with Linfield leading Cal Lutheran, but only by a 10-7 score. But there's a team that, I guess with the exception of Linfield over the last few years, Cal Lutheran has been acknowledged as one of those teams that's certainly a contender in their own division. I'd say contender. Is almost a perennial champion in the Southern California League, but a team that's almost destined for the playoffs the last several years, and they look to be headed possibly in that direction this year. But it'll be an interesting matchup with the Lutz and the Kingsmen next Saturday.
Yeah, basically, I think you win your league and you can get into the playoffs. And in some ways, you mentioned at the beginning, it was a little bit frustrating. You'd see that Lutz ranked 17th in the country, and they were 8-1, and they beat Cal Lutheran, and Cal Lutheran got in, and Lutz didn't. And 32 teams get into the playoffs. And then I didn't realize until I did a little more research afterwards, there's all this stuff. There's a lot of, it's kind of like the Division I basketball tournament with at-large berths and some silly things with strength of schedule in terms of trying to, figure out who should get in and who shouldn't. But at any rate, the Lutz came in last year at this time after Cal Lutheran had defeated Linfield, and they, looked at the team, and PLU come off a close victory over Hamline, and then they just really took it to Cal Lutheran and beat them by 2 touchdowns. And I think that it'll be a big test for the Lutz because, as you mentioned, Cal Lutheran has been a very good team, and playing down in Southern California has felt a little different, even though, we've got this nice weather here, and so maybe the Lutz have been used to it. But a few times when we've gone down there or we've done games against Azusa Pacific or Cal Lutheran or whomever, it sometimes feels like, we get a little worn out with that heat. And they've been a good team, and obviously if the Lutz can battle them and come out on top, it's going to really bode well for their confidence with a lot of these young guys, and perhaps, getting a chance to be down the road, get into the playoffs. No matter what, you'd like to have a chance at an at-large berth if you don't win the league and not feel like you could be 8-1 and a essentially really close loss to Linfield is the only thing that you have on your resume and you can't get in. So anyways, it'll be a great game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Should be a good one. And kind of an added note about that game is that Cal Lutheran is scheduled to open their stadium. This will be their first game in their new stadium, at least as of now. Looks like they're on track to open it up next Saturday. They were right down on the wire as far as getting construction and everything finished on time, but that would be the first game in their new stadium, and, of course, they'll be all fired up for that one next Saturday. 1 o'clock kickoff will be on the air right here on KLAY at 12:30 next Saturday afternoon. Our broadcast today brought to you in part by Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. By B&I Coin Shop, serving effort to Centralia to Spokane. By Multicare Sports Medicine, Multicare Better Connected. By the Rams, serving Lutz fans for 40 years. By Kearns Complete Automotive Care, automotive service with excellence and integrity. And by BMW Northwest, experience the best at BMW Northwest. Thanks to the folks at KLAY. We'll rejoin you next Saturday afternoon at 12:30 for the Lutz and Cal Lutheran. For my partner, Carl Hosep, this is Steve Thomas from Sparks Stadium at Puyallup. Our final score this afternoon, the Lutz Open 2011 with a shutout win, PLU 27 and Hamline nothing. So long for now.